Stand up! 1-0 New York Giant fans. Giants looking to get the 2-0. Baddog, it feels, victory week feels phenomenal. I love it.
Unbelievable. You know, it's funny because I wear this hat, well, not this particular hat, but a Giants hat like every day. Everybody coming up to me, oh, good win. Like, it's just like, good win, man. You can wear it with pride. You can wear it with pride. I'm like, listen, man, I take any win I can get, any way I can get it. Feels good to win. First place, New York Giants. Now, I know you look at the tiebreakers, and not technically we're first place, damn it. Let's go 2-0, Giants fans. Why not us? Why not us?
I said it today on Twitter, Baddog. Doesn't the week, and it's probably because we're not used to winning in a long time, but doesn't the week, especially when you win like an important game like this week was, we haven't won many important games, it feels so much longer when the team wins, because the whole week I'm thinking about the upcoming game, where when they're losing, you're just like, hey, let's get it over. Like when they win, the week for me takes forever to get to the next Sunday, but it's a good feeling. It's a good week, but it just, I feel like
you're anticipating, you're looking forward to it. Whenever you look forward to something, it takes forever.
Exactly.
To get there. I got to be honest, every week's like that for me because I just look forward to the damn weekend, and that's just me. Look forward to this show. Look forward to hanging out with the best Giants fans. I shouldn't say the best Giants, the best fans there are, and that is Giants fans. Excited, man. It does feel good to win. This is a very winnable game. Man. I put it on Twitter, or I don't know if it was Twitter. I think it was Twitter. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm like excited. Like I feel like we can win. That was a total shock to pull that game out the way we did to come back from 13-0. It just looked like it was another typical Giants season, and something clicked. Saquon Barkley clicked. I mean, that's what clicked. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the thing that stood out to me in terms of like long term, like what really stood out in that game in terms of like to be hopeful for was the halftime adjustments by the coaching staff. Because that's really what we're looking at this year is the difference in offensive philosophies and the hope that this offense could bring by year's end, and to see the adjustments that Kafka and Dable made at halftime. There was an incredible stat today, but I posted on Twitter today because you don't realize it while you're watching the game.
Right.
Saquon Barkley last year, when it came to pre-snap motion and running the football, only had 123 yards, and he only averaged 2.6 yards a carry in the Giants offense with Jason Garrett when they used pre-snap motion. In the opening game, he already eclipsed last year's running total when they used pre-snap motion. He had 155 yards on the ground on only 12 carries where it involved pre-snap motion. He averaged 13 yards a carry. And on the 6 carries where they didn't have pre-snap motion, he only had 9 yards. So I think a lot of that goes to the offensive play calling and putting Saquon Barkley in the best situation possible.
Yep.
Most out of him. You know, you think about the 49ers with Shanahan. He's great at that in terms of the pre-snap motion and setting up the ground game. So, that was a really eye-popping stat for me for Saquon Barkley. So really, really excited about the offense, the offensive play call, and some of the adjustments they made week one.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. It was exciting to see 3 touchdowns and a half. I mean, that's what we did. I don't remember last time we had 3 touchdowns and a half. Saquon Barkley was incredible, and we talk about it. 2018, it was like Eli Manning put him in the situations to succeed. Yep. So obviously, putting him in situations to succeed certainly helped out. And we saw that explosiveness. He ran with confidence. I mean, he looked like he was back. He looked like he was angry, finishing his runs, not running out of bounds, looking for the contact, running hard, and like I said, confident. Not nervous. Like last year, it just seemed like he was a little tentative and really wouldn't test that knee. Now he feels like he's 100% and good to go. And it showed. Big Moo, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Longest week for the shore. Can't wait for Sunday. Well, only a couple of days. Sunday's going to be here before you know it because it's weekend. By the way, I saw Punkum. See, Chris's face is looking slim as hell. And your dad said, Baddog wearing the muscle shirt. Chris, what do you weigh?
I told you before we started, I'm about what I was before because I've been maintaining my weight. I didn't weigh myself before the show. I'm about 198, 199 because I haven't been able to go to the gym now because I just started this job, but I start working from home not next week, but the week after, 4 days a week out of the 5. So I'll get back on the gym routine. I'll start going to the gym between 6 and like 7:30 in the morning, get it over with because I start work at 8. So I've been maintaining. That's been my goal the first 2 weeks at work because I know I'm going to be going in. I know, I had Chipotle
course.
the other day. So it's just getting in the groove, and then once I start working from home, I get back on the gym grind and we get back to the weight loss. But I've maintained, which I've been happy
Yeah,
about.
well, that's obviously a good thing. Whoops, what the hell did I just do there? Oh, there you go. Well, I'm gonna lead into this. We're gonna take care of this business real quick. So obviously, as you see up in the corner, the sponsor of the Bad Dog channel, one of the sponsors of the Bad Dog channel, is Nick's Ice Cream. That's right. Chris, you got to have some of this. I'm telling you guys, if you want to lose weight, I swear by this stuff. I eat a pint of this every night. I'm not lying to you. I can maintain this, make this part of my diet. They have great snack bars, ice cream. I'm going to eat this right now. As a matter of fact, I've been waiting all day to eat this damn butter pecan ice cream. But yes, you guys got to check out Nick's, man. If you,
I want to look like Bad Dog and be able to eat a whole pint of ice cream.
Pint of ice cream. Every day.
That's all. By the way, that's all you need to do, guys. If you eat that pint of ice cream, your muscles will grow.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. But yes, but seriously, guys, if you go to Knicks.com, you can also look at the shop area of it, like stores near you. Like you'll find what you don't need to order it from Knicks.com. If you don't have one, you can. But obviously, you can just hit shops near you, and it's going to show up. And I'll get this out of the way too, because while you're eating your Knicks ice cream, you want to play some bets, some parlays, some prop bets, you go to mybookie.ag. And when you place your first deposit, they will match 100% of it. So if you deposit $200 and you enter the code BADDOG, BADDOG, they'll double it. So if you deposit $200, you get $400 to play with. Each ice cream, bet on football. How good is that? How good is that?
Sounds like a good Sunday to me.
Yeah, it is a good Sunday, especially if you win. But we got that out of the way, so we're good. Okay. Got to shout out the sponsors. And, let's talk about, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the game last week still?
I mean, we got a game coming up too we could talk about. We didn't get to the defensive side of the ball either. Let's continue to recap last week, and then we'll transition into the game. We talked about the offensive side of the ball, which I think is the spot where most people, and we'll dive into Jones as well. But I think that's the spot where most people are excited about this year, obviously because we brought in Brian Dable. But you can't not mention the defense last week and the job that they were able to do and the job that Wink was able to do without Kayvon Thibodeau and without Azeez Ojulari going up against Derrick Henry. I mean, we held Derrick Henry to less than 4 yards of carry. And the guy had 56 yards at halftime. We held him to less than 30 yards in the second half, and 18 of those yards came on one run in the second half. So the job we did on Derrick Henry in that game was magnificent. It's as good as you could have hoped for as a Giants fan. And the defensive game plan that Wink came out, I definitely think is encouraging if you're a Giants fan going forward this year.
I completely agree. I think what Wink did was masterful because you didn't talk about Derrick Henry at all. Yeah. Like he was a non-factor, and they completely shut down the Titans' offense pretty much in the second half of the game. I mean, really, the defense is kind of put in a bad predicament. And, me, a lot of guys will tell you I'm negative. I admit I'm more of a glass half empty guy. I like to think I'm a realist, but I would say I'm a glass half empty guy. It's just the way I am naturally. But Chris, and everybody that was in that stream knows, when we were down 13-0, I kept saying it feels like we could be down a lot more. We could be down 27-0, 27-3. Yeah. And I go, these are the type of games we would have where we would dominate. We'd be up 13. We'd end up losing. Why not us? I kept thinking to myself, we just need a touchdown. Just make it 13-7. Just get back in the game. And sure enough, they made it 13-6 because they missed the extra point. But for whatever reason, and again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I felt like we had a chance to win that game. I don't feel like that. I haven't felt like that in years. We were down 13-0 that we had a chance to win. But I felt like we had a chance to win. And yeah, it took a missed field goal, but sometimes you need some breaks. And this team hasn't had a lot of breaks over the last 5 years. And it's nice to get off to a 1-0 start. And we got to keep building on it, man. I would be really, I won't say mad, but I'd be disappointed if they go into MetLife against a team that they can beat, and all the good vibes from week one kind of disappeared because they put up a stinker against the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not going to dramatically change my expectations for the year just based off one game. Like you said, a game in which we probably should have lost. I mean, they should have made the 47-yard field goal, and we have a completely different opinion and outlook of this team had they made it. We talk about obviously Barkley in the game that he had, and we talk about the overall job the defense did, but we're killing Daniel Jones as a fan base because of that pick in the end zone if we lose that game. But that didn't happen. and you hope that this is something that we could build off of. We build some momentum. And if we lose this week, I am still going to have a long-term approach for this team.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, this week, and it all depends on the method in which we lose. If we have a competitive game and we don't beat ourselves and they beat us in a close contested match, obviously I'm going to be upset on game day. But it all depends. If we drop a stinker, like you said, yeah, you're gonna be pissed on Sunday. But I'm just hoping they could build off it, because you look at it right now and the Giants have a golden opportunity. When you look at our schedule, if we could win this game, then you got a Dakless Cowboys team,
right?
With the injuries and departures they've had, and then we got a third straight home game in which we play the Bears. So this is if they ever win this game, I think the fan base is going to start to believe there's a chance this team go to the playoffs, and which is crazy.
I have a lot of people saying 4-0. And when I did the Victory Monday stream, a lot of guys are going, we can go 4-0. And I'm like, we can go 4-0. And that was Sunday morning, that wasn't looking like that. You would be happy with 2-2, but now Dak is out. We beat the Titans. It didn't look like we were going to beat the Titans. But as I've been saying, we have to get to 2-0 first. You get the 2-0, then 3-0, then you work 1 week at a time. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it is definitely a much more positive feel, and you believe in this coaching staff, because again, I believe that they're a more modern day approach to this stuff, including our front office. And I feel like they got it right. And I feel like we're going to head in the right direction, which is what we want to see. Now, granted, it's 1 week, but that's all we can base our performance off of. And even if they lost, it would have sucked. But the fact that they fought back in that game made me proud. Like, yes, it's been a long time since we felt like they fought back in a game. So I was happy to see them fight. And then, of course, for them to come back and win it all. And for Daboll, the balls, to have the balls, Coach Day balls, big balls. And, yeah, Chris, I love that you called that, by the way. If you guys don't know, we're in the stream. Chris said this at about at the beginning of the fourth quarter. He said, Baddog, what would you do hypothetically if we take the lead with or score a touchdown with like a minute to go? Would you go for 2? And I was like, yeah, I think I would go for 2. And inevitably, that's exactly what happened.
I think it was 1:06 on the clock.
Yeah, that was a great call.
I mean, that's just complete luck, but it's what.
Give yourself some credit. You know what you're doing.
Oh, well, you're watching the game as a fan. At least me. Everybody has a different perspective when they watch a game. I like to put myself in the head of a head coach, and I like to say to myself, what would I do in this situation? And as I'm watching the game unfold, I start thinking about Joe Judge and the difference with him and Brian Daboll. And I say to myself, Judge was really conservative. Is Daboll going to have the balls to do this if he's put in that spot? Because obviously you see the score. You see that the Giants are starting to get some momentum. And the opportunity presented itself, and he did it. And I thought it was the right – we both thought it was the right call. We said at the beginning of the fourth quarter it was the right decision on the road against a team that you're not as good as, if we're being honest with ourselves, at least early on in the year. Maybe we have a different perception of this team in 7 or 8 weeks. But you got to take that gamble there. You can't gamble going into overtime. You got your shot to get the win right there, and I love that Daboll did it.
Yeah, to be fair, Joe Judge would have never been in that situation because we probably wouldn't have scored more than 1 touchdown. Let me get there a few of these super chats. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. 400 in the house. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. More importantly, go in the description. That handsome man's link is down there. Subscribe to him if you haven't. I don't know where you have.
Maybe calling the game on my channel this week.
So we're going to be on his channel Sunday calling the game. You ain't going to want to miss it. It's always fun, especially when we're winning. And right now, we're above 500. That's the first time we could say that since 2016, everybody. That's right. Since 2016, we haven't been able to say it. We can say it now, Giants fans. We're above 500. We're tied for first place. That's right. Let's go.
1 week at a time, but I'm excited. I'm very excited for this Sunday's game.
2-0. Hashtag WBC winning builds culture. It also builds a nice fan base. It's like, thank God we can win some games. Nelly, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Says, hey, guys, feels good to be 1-0. But the best part of this week is watching the national media talk about us and trip over themselves, deciding if they believe in us or not. Let's go, Giants. Yeah.
Again, I'm still. I went into the year with a 7-win expectation. I'm still gonna keep it there for now. I'm not gonna dramatically change my outlook of this team based off 1 week. I'm with you guys. I definitely believe there's an opportunity now with some of the breaks that we caught. But the proof's in the pudding. And if we win this week, I'll up my expectations to 8 wins. And it's a week by week game for me though. We have to see consistency from this football team. They're still young. Let's not set the expectation sky high. At least me. That's my outlook. I'm not going to set the expectation sky high.
Yeah.
Week by week. It's a process. It's a week by week process. It's a young football team.
Yeah. Ray, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. I think flat starts. MetLife will be insane. Wink. Yeah, Wink wants MetLife to be insane.
I don't think Flat's going to start, Ray. I could be wrong. I think it's going to be the guy in the practice squad. Moreau, I think it is. I can't remember his name at the top of my head. I think they're going to go with the veteran. But Flat may get an opportunity if the guy's struggling, or maybe they platoon it like they did the guard position last week. We'll see. But that's just my guess. It's not like I have insider information.
Right. Real Twin Games. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. What is the chance the Giants start 4-0? Well, like I just said, a lot better than they were before we played the Titans. But let's win one game at a time. No game is a gimme for the Giants. We know that. We caught a break against Tennessee. I'm glad we caught the break. But they're a lot better than they were at the beginning of the year, because we didn't think we'd beat Tennessee. And obviously Dallas without Dak Prescott is certainly not as menacing. When you look at that team without him, when you look at how they struggled even with him offensively. So there's a much better chance than it was. But again, let's go one game at a time. Let's just get to 2-0 first and then worry about 4-0. But 4-0 is definitely a possibility.
It's a possibility. It's still less than 50%. To ask this team to win 3 straight games is asking a lot. If they win this game, I'll say it's at least 30 to 40%. I'll say that with 2 straight home games, you're gonna be very well rested with no travel going up. And I see a Cowboys fan, you're not beating the Cowboys. I think we could. You guys don't have Dak. You guys have a guy who I think is a 3rd string quarterback as your starter right now. You're missing your left tackle. You're missing Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. I respect your defense, but I think Saquon Barkley could run on you guys. He just ran on the Tennessee Titans. I think he could do enough to win that game, and I don't think your offense is good at all right now with all the guys that you guys have out. So I favor the Giants in that game, to be completely honest. If we go into it as healthy as we are now, not that we're that healthy, not to mention Kayvon Thibodeau, I think will be playing in that game, which
right. And Azeez might be playing in that game too.
Yeah, I don't know about Azeez. We'll see, but I'm more confident Kayvon's going to be in that game. So I like the way we match up with Dallas right now, but it's 1 week at a time. I'm not even thinking about them. I'm thinking about our week 2 matchup against Carolina. So let's beat Carolina before we even start to think about 3-0. Let's get to 2-0.
Right.
And 1 week at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself.
That's right. Dree Loco, thank you so much. Well, I didn't know Baddog was that ripped impressive. I know. Normally when I have a shirt on and you can only see this, people don't notice that until they go to my Instagram page and they're like, oh my God, what the hell? Yeah, I it looks can be deceiving, but I appreciate it. He says, my key to winning Sunday is putting safety on CMC and critical game for DJ, attention on Saquon. Yeah, I think that obviously Carolina is going to go into this game saying we got to stop Saquon but listen, Daniel Jones didn't have the greatest game. That interception wasn't good, but he was 17 out of 21. That's pretty damn good.
I graded on Twitter. I think it was a very fair grade. I think it was a C+ performance. And maybe you can even go as far as B-, but I'll be C+. When you factor in all the variables, had it not been for that interception, it'd be at least a B+ for me. But that was a bad, you can't throw an interception in the red zone like that in a game in which you're only down by 7 points. So that's a big knock. But when I factor in it's his first game in a brand new scheme, the offensive line played pitiful in the first half in terms of they played bad the whole game in terms of pass protection. The run blocking was excellent when you had an opportunity to watch back the game. And once they started to get the ground game going, it gave Jones a little bit more time because they had to really honor the run game with Saquon Barkley. So I'll give him a C+. It was his first game in a brand new scheme against a good defense on the road. Like you said, 17 to 21. He didn't do anything spectacular, but he did what he needed to do when the game was on the line to move the football and find a way to get a win. And he made one really bad, crucial mistake. That's why I give him a C+.
Yeah, that's true. But the one thing I'll say, and I mentioned in my post game, the one thing I loved about Daniel Jones the bounce back. Yeah. Dable went over, ripped him a new one. You saw it. Jones could have hung his head. Oh, woe is me. Nobody likes me. Coach don't like me. Fans don't like me. All I wanted to see was that. The way he bounced back, the way he drove his team down the field, scored a game-winning touchdown, that, to me,
that's growth.
Was awesome.
It's growth.
And that's exactly what you want to see from your quarterback. That, to me, made me believe, okay, well, again, he's still got to prove it, and he's got to cut those red zone mistakes down. That was really bad. But he could have, said, not brought us down. He did. So now I say, okay, do it a couple more times, but you're going to give me a lot more confidence that, hey, he can do this. And I think it was good for him. I think it was good for the team. I think it's good for his teammates to say, okay, this kid got ripped through a bad interception. Coach ripped him, and he went right out there and let us down and won the game. So good for Daniel Jones. I was happy that he bounced back and did that.
Hey, we've said it several times, for at least for me, and I think for you, it's not so much about the statistics. People ask us, what's the minimum statistics Jones needs to do to stay on? It's about situational football. It's about the 2-minute drill. It's about being in the big moments and finding ways to win football games. And obviously, he needs to have a winning record. We've said that several times this year, regardless of if it's his fault or not. It doesn't matter. He's on they have to start winning football games for him to remain on as the quarterback. But for me, it's more about situational football, being put in situations like that. And he failed in one situation when they got the quick turnover, and he succeeded in another. We need to continue to see growth. By no means am I saying that, I'm even close to saying that I'm committed to him past this year, but it's a step, and we need to continue to see more steps. But it was a good first start, and we'll see if he could grow off of it.
Yeah, definitely. Joe, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Says this reminds me of the early 80s Giants when we were undecided about Phil Simms or the new coach, Bill Parcells. Yeah, in 83, I mean, that was the year before I started watching the Giants, but he decided to start Scott Bruner, and they were terrible in 83, and he almost got fired, and then he came back in 84. Simms threw for over 4,000 yards. He made the playoffs. The rest is history. So I don't know. It's kind of a different situation here because a GM, George Young, was the same. That's why they didn't. Phil Simms said he wanted to be traded, and they wouldn't trade him because George Young drafted him. And I think that was George Young's first pick as Giants GM. So the thing is, Jones is not Shane's guy. But we'll see. One thing I do hope, Joe, is that the new coach turns it around like Parcells turned around the Giants, because that would be absolutely awesome if that happened. That's exactly what I want to see. Where am I here? This thing is jumping around on me.
Let's Savage, by the way, I saw you mention that. Yeah, that's a good call by you. I thought that was probably his best throw of the game. That was right before the half. He's talking about the sideline throw to Richie James when James couldn't get out of bounds. But when you had an opportunity to watch that back and see the old 22, that was an incredible throw by Daniel Jones into a tight window for sure. On the run, fitting it in between two defenders. That was probably his
Richie James also dropped a really good pass that he threw. Yeah. So he could have been 18 for 21.
That was probably Jones's best throw of the game. That's right before halftime from a skill standpoint. And not in terms of obviously the Myrick touchdown was the most important throw, but the 3rd and 5 with the all-out blitz, that was a big throw too.
Yes, it was.
But in terms of just like an eye-popping throw, that was probably his best throw of the game, the throw right before the half to Richie James.
Confidence, man. Yeah. I think this builds confidence. And I've been saying this for years. He just lacks confidence. I think he's good enough physically. So hopefully he builds on it and he comes out. Let's get off to a better start against Carolina. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Manny, my friend, thank you. He says, effing loving it. He's boozing in Moynihan till the train comes. Thanks for the invite earlier, Chris. You and Pat are fantastic. Bad Dog, you look rocked. Pre-gym kicking it. Yeah, before the gym. I'm after the gym. Now we have post-gym, and that's Nick's ice cream. He said, no letdown game. Hoping O shows up. Me too. But yes, the pre-gym exit, I take kicks ass.
Yeah, Manny. I had a blast over there. Thank you for checking out the stream with me and Patty. I know you said you got off work. You worked 15 hours today. So I said, come on by, hang out with us. We're going to be doing this for a couple hours. So thanks for popping in. And somebody. Tony. Yeah, we got to talk about Tony, but I'll let you get to these.
Big move. Thank you so much. For once, we didn't settle for field goals. That's right. And that's what we talked about. We had to get 7 points and not 3s, and they were able to do that.
That was it. At least last year, they were the 4th ranked red zone defense in football. So for the Giants to be able to convert 2 out of 3 times in terms of touchdowns when we got inside the 20, and the other one was the pick that Jones threw. So had he thrown that away, we would have gotten 17 points in 3 trips to the red zone. Yeah, I think that goes as much on the play caller as anything else, right? Like you think back to last year, Bad Dog. That last touchdown that we threw to Chris Myrick, you tell me a point in time with Jason Garrett as the play caller where we had a guy that wide open.
I don't remember because I always say, how come our guys are not wide open?
like inside the red zone like that. Like, so the play caller, obviously Kafka and Dable, they deserve a lot of credit, man. They deserve a lot of credit for calling some good plays, getting these guys wide open and giving Jones an opportunity from within inside the 20, because that's really where you start to judge an offensive play caller. Most offense in the NFL can move it to 20 to 20. It's when you get inside that 20, whether or not you can cash in. And it was a good performance.
Yeah, we were terrible in the red zone last year. So to go, 2 for 2, I mean, the one touchdown was way outside the 20, but to go 2 for 2 in the red zone, or
2 for 3.
2 for 3, sorry, because he threw the interception, but still, avoid the interception, go 3 for 3. The offense just looks better. It still don't look great, but it looks a lot better than it did last under Joe Judge at any point, really, except for maybe the game against Washington. We look pretty good against Washington. Anthony, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. He says, what happens first? Kadarius Toney gets a sack, or Kenny Galladay gets a touchdown?
Kayvon Thibodeau gets a sack.
Oh, Kayvon Thibodeau, I'm sorry. Just so used to Kadarius. So, yeah, Kadarius Toney's not going to get a sack.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Galladay touchdown. I think that happens this week.
I'm going to go with the Galladay touchdown as well, because I don't know for sure Thibodeau is going to play week 3. I would say it's probably like 60-40 he's going to play. So I hope Galladay scores a touchdown, if not this week, next week. So I will go with Kenny Galladay as well.
Yeah, we're going to take Kenny Galladay. Carlos, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Danny Dimes threw a nice dime to Shep, baby. Chris, you talk about when's the last time we saw a guy that wide open in the red zone? When's the last time we saw a 63-yard touchdown pass that actually went down the field?
And he was open. I think we both said it during the stream. Thank you, Saquon Barkley, because that was why he had no help over the top on that play. Why there was single coverage, because the defense had to completely sell out to stop Barkley, because he was starting to cook the drive before. Had a number of big runs. And appropriately, and I don't know if it was a checkout by Jones, I'd have to go back and watch the play, or if it was just a design play from the jump to throw a bomb and they just guessed right. But whatever it was, appropriately, the New York Giants saw that. They saw that they were overcommitting to stop the run, and they took that shot. And it's not always, you're not always going to be set up, especially with the way this line is now, to be able to take, people in the chat were crying about it. They're like, oh, why aren't they throwing on the field? I'm like, you see the offensive line? We can't block. We can't hold interior. So I think because they were able to establish that ground game and Barkley became a threat in the run game, it made them overcommit to stop the run, and it set up that opportunity to Shepard.
Fact. And the other thing that I love to see, because I said when I was screaming to the stream, is that's the Shepard I remember at Oklahoma, the guy that wins off the line, gets down the field and makes a guy miss and scores a touchdown.
Yeah,
he did that on a regular basis at OU. So when we drafted him, I was like, that's the guy we're getting. Now, obviously, Shepard's dealt with a lot of injury issues. I've always been a big Shepard fan. And like I said, I'm disappointed because I thought he'd be a lot better. He's just been injured. He's been consistent, but the offense in general has been injured and inconsistent. I always thought Shepard had great hands, great route runner. I mean, Shepard could easily have a really big season. And it's a free agent year for him too, right? He's not under contract next year. I think they have restructured him so many times. I think he's a free agent.
I'd be surprised if he's back with the Giants.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's a mean. He could be playing for his next contract.
Yeah, no, I think he is. I think the writing's on the wall. We drafted his replacement with Robinson. I think that's the plan. So,
Carlos, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Carlos, thank you, brother. He said, "Did you guys have a beautiful week? I love it when they win. It really makes my week that much better." Yes.
Yeah, no, I said at the top of the stream, Carlos. It makes my week much longer in terms of the way it feels, but much better.
Yeah, that was awesome. Peter Almo, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Peter loved that game, man. He was like us. He was like, this sucks. Oh my God. That was awesome.
I mean, it's the raw emotions of a fan during a game.
Man. It is. You're up and down constantly. He says, I'd love to know what's really going on with Wandale. He came out of the game was immediately ruled out this week, but we saw him walking around laughing and smiling. What is going on?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not there. I forgot. I think it was a. I don't remember. Was it a hamstring? I don't remember.
Knee, right? It was his knee.
Oh, it was a knee. That's right. A knee. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't think he's going to play this week. So we'll see.
The Chiefs way. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Again, thank you for your service. What famous Miami Dolphin was also giant? That'd be Larry Zonka, man. He was part of the Miracle of the Meadowlands. That's the first Dolphin giant that I think of is Larry Zonka.
I'm trying to think of another Dolphin giant that was Brandon Marshall was a Dolphin for a bit.
Right.
Even though I don't want to think about him as a giant.
Yeah, I know. But I'm thinking Zonka.
Yeah, I'm sure that's who he means.
Yeah. Yeah, that was before my time too. But they hit rock bottom and got George Young, and the things started to tick up a little bit for him, which is cool. So hopefully, we hit rock bottom last year, the back-to-back quarterback sneaks, and now we're ready to come up a little bit because we've been saying for years, how much farther down can you go before we hit rock bottom? Maybe that was it. Maybe that was rock bottom.
Yeah.
I can tell you this, we came up a long way. We're not at rock bottom right now. We're on cloud 9. It's a beautiful freaking thing.
I want to stay there.
John, my friend, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. Boys, the keys to victory on Sunday, run the damn ball. Agreed. Yeah. By the way, it was mouse quiet with the Titans last week.
Yeah, John, complete agreement with you. And we know, and we'll dive into this week's matchup, but we know what Carolina's going to do. They're going to sell out to stop the run. You'd be stupid not to, based off the performance that Saquon Barkley had last week. But John, if you're the Giants, you can't shy away from it. You look at last week, and by no means am I comparing our offensive line to Cleveland's. Cleveland's has one of the better offensive lines in the sport. So they are a proven line that can take on a team stuffing the box and still be able to run the football. I didn't watch the game. I could only assume they had to try to stuff the box with the quarterback they had in there in Jacoby Brissett. And the Browns were still able to run for like 220 yards.
Yeah.
So if you're the Giants, based off the performance the offensive line did in terms of run blocking and the way that Saquon Barkley was able to run the football, you can't shy away from it. You have to commit to the run, and you have to hope that it sets up the passing game. So they're coming with it. But the other thing I'm going to say, and I said it in the stream with Patricia Traina, Baddog, I'm calling this right now, and maybe I'll be dead wrong on Sunday. And I know we all get nervous when Jones runs the ball. I do too, right? With some of the hits he took. Daniel Jones is going to have a 30-plus yard run this week because they're going up against a defense that is aggressive in nature. Last year, they blitzed 33% of the time. They're going up against a defense that is now going to sell out to stop Saquon Barkley. And I think it is begging for an RPO with Daniel Jones keeps it when they sell out to stop Barkley. Yep. And it is going to be a huge gaping hole when they overcommit.
I agree. That's how he beat the Eagles, because the Eagles, they have that very aggressive defense too. When they sell out, Daniel Jones had that big run. Of course, he tripped, but he's always had big runs against the Eagles for that reason. So it's a great point by you. Yeah, they're going to have to sell out. They're going to say, Daniel Jones, you have to beat us, kind of like we did with Derrick Henry. Say, you're going to make Tannehill beat you, and Tannehill couldn't beat us. So, yeah, they'd be stupid not to sell out and say, Daniel Jones, do it again. So somebody mentioned earlier, this is critical for Daniel Jones for sure. And I saw this in the chat a lot. Sam Madison was another Dolphin that became a really good Giant, but I put Lucas up there because shout out to Lucas. This is why the subscribers are just, you guys are way too generous and kind. But my guy Lucas from Down Under, I don't know if you've been in the stream since, but I did go buy my scotch. Shout out to Luke. He bought that for me. He didn't have to do that. Definitely didn't have to do that, but he bought it. He said, Bad Dog, go get your damn scotch. So I made sure I had that. And Lucas, I got to drink it week 1. I didn't think I'd be able to drink that for at least a couple weeks. Now I hope I finish the bottle by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. That'd be amazing. That'd be great. That means we're winning. Yeah. I also think it's hilarious that this matches my background. I don't know how perfect is that?
Yeah, it's Giants blue.
It really matches the background, even the design.
It's Giants blue,
crazy.
Man.
It's like it was meant to be. LA Lou, thank you. What do you think of the Lakers sign shirt? I saw that today. I think Russell Westbrook's on his way out. How many point guards can the Lakers have? Good move by the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't know much. I know Schroeder. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how he still is because he's kind of up there in age. But
no, he didn't cost as much as he was going. He wanted a lot more, and he got nothing, and now he's still getting nothing.
But yeah, I just don't think Russ is a fit there. I didn't think he was a fit there when the Lakers got him to begin with. He's a ball dominant player. That's not going to work with LeBron James.
Jake, thank you for the super chat. He says Mike Glennon. Was Mike Glennon a Dolphin?
Yeah, I think he was briefly. His best years, if you want to call it that, was with the Bears. But I think he was briefly with the Dolphins.
I remember with the Bucks. I remember with the Bears.
That's what I meant. His best years with the Bucks.
I don't remember him with the.
Maybe he wasn't. I'm curious. Actually, now I'm gonna look.
I don't know. Nate, my friend, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Do you all think last season was worse than 2017?
He was not with the Dolphins. I just looked. He was with the Jaguars.
That's a tough question, Nate. I would say last year was worse because 2017 we had so many injuries. That defense was pathetic. I mean, I don't know. Like last year we had no talent. Coach sucked. 2017 they just quit. That's a tough question.
For me, it's an easy one. And I'm not last year was beyond disappointing. One of the most disappointing years as a Giants fan. For me, since I've been watching the team, it's 2017, and it's not even close. 2016, the team finished the year incredibly well. We had arguably the best defense in football over the second half of the season. You got high hopes because you said, all right, all we need is a couple of pieces on offense because the offense regressed a little bit when the team kind of flipped. In 15, the offense was great. The defense was bad. Yeah. And then we spent all that money on the defense, and then the offense needed some reassurance. So we drafted Ingram. We signed Brandon Marshall. And you said, oh, my God, we got all these pieces coming back on the defense. And several people were picking the Giants to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not talking about Giants fans. I'm talking about people that work for ESPN. I'm talking about, they were very highly thought of going into that year. And for them to finish with the second overall pick, and obviously we had a ton of injuries, I don't even think it's close. I think 2017 is far and away the most disappointing year. And then you tack on, if I'm not, was that the year that they benched Eli, or was that 18?
Yeah, yep, that was the year.
Tack on the embarrassment of starting Geno Smith over Eli Manning later in the year, and the quitting on the coach. I don't even think it's close. I think 2017 is the most disappointing year.
The game against the Rams in 2017 was one of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
3rd and 23, they gave up a 47-yard touchdown. They didn't even try. They didn't even try to tackle the guy.
Yeah.
Pathetic. Pusha, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Going to the game Sunday. Let's get a W. Let's win. Let's go 2-0, man. Why not us?
Enjoy yourself, Pusha, man. Have fun, buddy.
Yeah, have fun. And you'll have more fun when they win. So I don't know if they're giving away free medium sodas this week, but it'll be good.
KN says 2021 was worse because of Judge. Listen, 2021 was really bad. You may have short memory. Ben McAdoo wasn't much better. So, I mean, 2017 was brutal. I'm so glad I wasn't on YouTube for 2017. Not that 2021 was
I was on YouTube for that.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is this. I don't think I had fun in 2017. Last year, even though they were terrible, I had fun making fun of Joe Judge. I can't lie. I had the bag of my head video. I thought that was pretty funny. The imitation of Joe Judge's press conference.
Also, by the way, amazing guy, great point. The Eagles won the Super Bowl in 17 too to top it off.
Yeah.
17 was worse. 17 was worse.
Right. Yeah, my son was born in 2017, so it's the
great
year of my life.
Yeah, for you.
Listen, I mention it all the time, and it's a fact. 2017 was bittersweet. It was a terrible year for the Giants. Eagles won the Super Bowl. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 months. This still makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit to think about them winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But my kid was born, and if it wasn't for the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and my kid being born, my channel wouldn't be what it is. Like it really made me change direction on this channel, and it helped me grow a lot, because what I was doing before was just kind of immature and stupid. And I'm still kind of immature and stupid. I mean, let's be real, but I'm a little bit more mature that I'm a dad, I have a son I have to raise. But I always look at it that way. My basis in my channel is really ripping the Eagles and their fans. I can still make fun of the fans, but I can't talk that trash no more. They kick our ass. They've been way better than us. And I was like, all right, enough's enough, man. I'm not doing that anymore. So bittersweet 2017, but Eagles still suck. Screw Philadelphia. Hate them. And we're going to kick your ass when we play you. Thank you. Donovan, thank you, brother. Whatever y'all wore last Sunday, wear this Sunday. I'll plan on it.
Saquon Barkley, 26.
Listen, I already planned on it. Breakfast, I normally have egg whites and pancakes. But because I was sick on early Sunday morning, I said, as much as I love the Giants, I'm not throwing up every Sunday morning. That's not happening. I had a protein shake and pancakes. That's what I'm having. And I had this watch on, which I don't ever wear the watch. Like I just happened to have it on that day because I must have went out earlier in the day or something. So I got to wear the watch, got to wear the McKinney jersey. Yeah, everything's going to be the same except for the vomiting at 2 a.m. That's we're not doing that. I love the Giants, but that was awful.
Yeah, you're not doing that. You don't need to.
We're not doing that.
You don't got to take it that far.
We're not taking it that far.
I picked against the Giants this week because I'm superstitious with that. Even though in my heart I really think we got a good chance to win, I picked against this because I picked against this last week and we won. So I'm sticking with that. Not changing the prediction vibes. I'm wearing the same jersey, but you're not going to see me throwing up.
Well, listen. If we make the Super Bowl, I might just throw up just to do it.
Yeah.
We make the Super Bowl, maybe I'll force myself to. I'd throw up for a Super Bowl win. I would throw up to win a Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll do that. Danny, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Entree roll. The safety was a Dolphin and a Giant. I guess there was a lot of Dolphins.
I had to look that up to see because I didn't think he was, and he wasn't. He was an Arizona Cardinal, then he was a Giant. He retired as a Bear. But one guy we haven't mentioned that, and maybe it was mentioned in the chat, I don't know, but Olivier Vernon was a Dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably
somebody mentioned that.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the better ones. But yeah, no, he was not a Dolphin. Intro roll.
Damn, that ice cream is good. I can't lie. I saw Punkum say Baddog was salivating and eat that ice cream. I waited for this stream to eat that. So yeah, I usually eat it after dinner. I was salivating. I freaking I can't say enough how much I love the damn Knicks ice cream. It's really freaking good. Chief, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Says new trivia. What Giants quarterback, after sucking with the Giants, the very next year took his new team to the Super Bowl? Name the team.
It's got to be a long time ago, I think. Well, no.
Hostetler wasn't.
Warner didn't go to the Super Bowl the next year, did he?
He did. No, was it the next year? No, he went in 2008.
Yeah, which was the next year. He was there. Oh, no. What am I saying? No, that's 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Warner.
But did he suck with us? Like, who sucked with us? Like, we had, Sims didn't suck. Hostetler didn't go to a Super Bowl.
Collins was good with the Titans, but never went to a Super Bowl after us.
Warner did go to.
It's got to be a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, Craig Morton. That's the guy. It was Craig Morton. Craig Morton was horrible for us in 1976. They started off 0-9. A lot of people say the 76 Giants, which is the year I was born, was the worst team of all time for the Giants. And Craig Morton, the Giants, of course, gave up a first-round pick to Dallas for him, which ended up being Randy White. Another great move by the damn Giants. Not that Randy White's only one of the greatest defensive linemen ever, but yeah, let's get Craig Morton for him. And then the Giants got rid of him. We went to Denver, won comeback player of the year, and made it to the Super Bowl. And, of course, in the Super Bowl, Craig Morton for the Broncos threw as many completions to Dallas. Must have thought he was still there as he did to the Broncos. He threw 4 completions. He threw 4 interceptions in just over a half. They pulled him out of the game. They pulled him out of the game for Norris Weiss in the third quarter when Too Jones dropped a pick 6. They pulled him right out of the game to get out. So, yeah. So there, Bad Dog knows a little trivia. That's why Uncle Lou always says I'm like a guy that swallowed the computer chip because I know all this stupid crap about the Giants or whatever. But yeah, it was Craig Morton. That's who it is. That's who it is. There she. Thank you, my friend. He says the clown show is in Cincinnati now for the Reds.
Yeah, you guys aren't good.
No, you guys aren't good. Oh,
hopefully you guys bounce back.
Why the hell don't I have the Yankee game on here?
Hopefully Dashy's football team bounces back this week because they're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah, Dashy whooped their ass. We're definitely pulling for you, Dashy. We are definitely pulling for you, sir.
And I think they will. I think Burrow will play well this week.
I know too. Oh, good. It looks like Frankie Montas gave up a 5-run lead. Boy, that guy's ass for the Yankees. Holy cow. The new Sonny Gray.
You guys opened up your lead, though, in the division, right?
Yeah, because Toronto and Tampa Bay have been playing each other, and the Yankees have actually been winning some games. But Frankie Montas was a terrible move.
Yeah,
he is the new Sonny Gray. He can't pitch here.
You guys got that locked up, though, the bye in the first round. The Mets, it's still tight because the Braves are going to win.
That's because the Braves are freaking awesome. Luckily for us, we don't have anybody really great. Braves have a better record than we do. They'd be in first place in part of it,
I'm telling you right now, since June 1st, look at it. The Braves are the best team in baseball. That includes the Dodgers since June 1st.
Crazy. Sebastian, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it. Who on the Giants team and do you have the most hope for? And who do you worry the most for? Also, Skips Skip on Undisputed is asinine. I never watched. I mean, I work, so I don't ever watch Undisputed. Not that I ever watched Skip Bayless anyway. Skip Brainless should be his name. I'll answer quick. Most hope for, I think, Kayvon Thibodeau. I think that he should make a massive difference. I mean, I think Aziz Ojulari should have a. I mean, these guys got to be healthy. I think they both could be great, but I think Thibodeau is the guy I have the most hope for. The guy that I worry most about is Kadarius Toney. I don't know what his deal is and why this guy just can't find his way onto the field. Like it's just everything is weird. Like things come out of nowhere, thin air. He's good. He's not good. He's healthy, but he's not on the field, and he's practicing. And now all of a sudden there's a hamstring issue, and I worry about him. I don't know what the deal is with Kadarius Toney. So I'm hopeful for one KT, and I worry about the other one.
Yeah. I could answer this two different ways. I don't know how you want me to answer it, Sebastian. And as far as Skip goes, I think I saw clips of it on Twitter. I don't watch ESPN, but or whatever. I think he's on ESPN. I saw clips of it on Twitter, though. I think he said that said something stupid. Oh, he said Ezekiel Elliott's a better running back than Saquon Barkley at this point in their careers. That was stupid. But
it's 420 at Skip's house.
Yeah, but as far as the comment regarding who I have the most hope for, I can answer that in two different ways. Is it the most hope for this year? Because if it's just this year, it's Saquon Barkley for me, or Andrew Thomas. And my answer to you for long term is Andrew Thomas. I think Andrew Thomas has graduated at this point, Sebastian, to being an all-pro level left tackle, which is the second most important position on an offense. And I think he's only going to get better. So the guy I have the most hope for long term and potentially even short term is Andrew Thomas. And the guy that I worry the most about is probably Toney as well. I could probably name a couple of other guys, but it's probably Toney, and it has as much to do with his injuries as anything else. But I'm rooting for him. I want to see him out on the field. I think he's a very talented player. But when I'm thinking, I'm not going to say Galladay because Galladay's not here long term. It's right. I'd probably say Toney.
Yeah. The Big Moo. Thank you so much for the super chat. Kodiak. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Big Moo. I have definitely thought about reaching out to Kodiak protein pancakes because I eat them twice a day. So once for breakfast. This is pretty much my during the week. Okay. My work week schedule. 3 Kodiak pancakes and a cup of Oikos yogurt, triple yogurt. That's my breakfast. Lunch, half a bag of Tyson blackened chicken strips or Tyson grilled chicken strips. Dinner, either 24 ounces of grilled chicken or 20 ounces of 99% fat-free ground turkey. I have a protein shake when I get home from work. And then I have a pint of Nick's ice cream. And I finish off the night with 3 Kodiak pancakes. So, yeah, there may be a time that I reach out to Kodiak Pancakes and say, hey, what do you think? I'm a big fan of your product. I eat them all the damn time. I do. I like Kodiak Pancakes. They're fantastic. So you never know. Listen, I'm extremely excited that there's 2 companies that wanted to sponsor me this football season. And I owe that to you guys and girls. I mean, I don't want to get all mushy and stuff here, okay? But I was Uncle Lou did his stream today, and I don't know if any of you guys follow Uncle Lou. If you do, he went through some serious shit. Okay, if you don't know, it's not for me to tell you what happened. But I was watching his stream today, and I know I say this a lot, but I don't ever feel like I can say it enough. I would never ever take you guys and girls for granted. I am so appreciative of each and every one of you. I don't care if you like me or you don't like me. You come and watch my videos, hang out in the live streams, support the channel, go above and beyond to support what I do. It means the world to me. It always makes me feel really good when people say, Baddog, you inspire me to start a channel. Or, Baddog, you inspire me to lose weight, or I'm down 20 pounds and you help me get through this and you help me get that. It makes you feel good. But like Uncle Lou said, I can't tell you how many times I've had a bad day or I'm having a bad week or something's going on and you guys help me. And I just, without each and every one of you, I would have never made this level. I wouldn't have a silver play button. And I just can't say, again, words don't express how much you mean to me, how much that means to me. And I love you guys and girls. And we've been a freaking horrible team and you do this. And, a lot of guys are down on the Giants and everything else. And I just keep saying that. I've said it for 5 years, Chris, since we've been doing this channel. The show is just wait till we're good. Like, wait till we have excitement in the fan base instead of angst and anger and vitriol. Like, this guy sucks and this guy sucks. Like, he don't suck, but it's because of this. The coaching. I'm like, can we just have a good year? And let's have some damn fun like that, So, again, I just, I think about it a lot, but listening to him today, I can't tell you how much you guys and girls mean to me because I would not be here without you. You mean everything to me. And I've said this before. I just host this channel, but it belongs to each and every one of you guys because you make this channel what it is. You make this show what it is. And I'm ultra appreciative. I really am. So thank you, everybody.
There you go.
Well, Duran, thank you for the super chat. He says Skip and Barkley is more of a cherry on top than an actual cake type of back.
Yeah, to me, that's been in my opinion, I think that's been a common misconception of Saquon Barkley since he entered the NFL. I think Saquon Barkley was the entire cake in 2018. The entire cake. Whatever is your favorite cake, ice cream cake, cannoli cake, wedding cake, I don't know.
Cannoli cake. Now we're talking.
Cannoli, yeah. Whatever it is, he was that cake his rookie year. And I think a lot of people forgot about that. And since then, he's been hurt. 2019, he got hurt, wasn't the same player until the last 2 or 3 weeks. 2020, he tore his ACL after the first game. And last year, obviously, he wasn't himself mentally. Wow. Now he's back to being.
And he was hurt for 4 games because he stepped on that defender's ankle after the play was over, or foot, and twisted his ankle.
I think people forgot how good of a player Saquon Barkley is. And I think week 1, it reminded them. And he's always been that player. He just has not been able to stay healthy. He's the cake. He's not the frosting. He's the cake.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, guys, girls, 600 in the chat. Thank you very much. You know what to do. If you haven't done so, hit the thumbs up. Literally the easiest thing you can do. When you come in, just hit the thumbs up, click it. It helps out both of us enormously. The YouTube algorithm loves when you hit the thumbs up. It doesn't cost anything, but it is obviously, or honestly, the best way to support anybody's channel is by hitting the thumbs up and leaving a comment. So thank you all for doing that. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe, ring the bell. Like I said, most importantly, make sure you go into that description and you subscribe to this gentleman right here, the thin gentleman who has lost 50 pounds.
Yeah, about
50. 5-0. Shout out to Chris. Subscribe to him. We'll be live Sunday for the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. We have a lot of fun, and let's get a dub.
Maybe we go a little extra early again. I'm excited.
Yeah, I
know everybody else is. I'm going to be doing as long as the team's playing healthy, I'll make time to talk about them. So I'll be doing the same thing I did week 1. We'll be doing a night before stream. So I've been thinking about this game now for 5 days. So I can't wait. I can't wait until the game on Sunday. I really can't. I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be good. And then hopefully Monday night, we can have another Victory Monday. Those are much better. Like smiling bad dog, talking about a win, not frowning, complaining bad dog, which we've had for 5 years. It'd be nice. Let's keep winning. Feels good to win. Richie said, feel good to feel good. It does. It feels good to feel good, don't it? Yep. Dashy, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Says Staley should have called a timeout last night when he knew Everett was gassed. Staley lost the Chargers game last night. I didn't know that game was on Amazon Prime. I went to NFL Network, and I just have it on in the background. And I'm like, yep, football. And then I heard him say Russell Wilson. And I go, Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson's not playing tonight. And then I see at the bottom, game is on Amazon Prime. I'm like, they're doing that for football now. I mean, I have Amazon Prime, but I'm like, how many things do I have to buy to watch football or baseball?
Yeah, it's annoying.
It is annoying.
But as far last night he wasn't as aggressive as he normally is. I think I can't stand Staley. Personally, I think he to me is like who's like the most analytical baseball manager? Is it Boone? I don't know. I know you whoever it is. That's what Staley is. Like he is strictly by the world of analytics, And I am all for an aggressive coach. I was a guy that said that Joe Judge was way too conservative, and I liked that Dable was aggressive. You could be aggressive to a fault, and to me, that historically, so far, that's what Staley's been. He's been aggressive to a fault, going for 4th and 2 or 3 from his own 20. Like, no. So
that's not aggressive. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
That's just dumb. There is a point to aggression. 4th and 3 from like your own 40, 45. Okay, that's aggressive.
Yeah.
4th and 3 from your own 20. That's stupid. I do remember Belichick doing that one. Belichick did that trying to surprise the Colts. I'll never forget that from like his own 25 when they got stopped. It was like 4th and 1, and he got stopped. And they ended up losing the game. But I guess Belichick was like, we couldn't stop Peyton Manning all. I'm pretty sure Peyton Manning was there when that happened. He's like, they couldn't stop him all night. So he was like, oh, the hell with it. We're going to lose anyway if I punt the ball back to him. So let's just go for it. So that was different. I'm not really going to question a guy that's won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach and 2 as a defensive coordinator. So, not gonna worry about that. But, I don't know. Fuego Dharma, good to see you. Been a long time. Thank you for the super chat. What up, mi hermanos? Is our luck turning or what? Just won a couple hundred on a scratch off. Nice. Looking for that W on Sunday. Go Blue. Looking good, Tainah.
Appreciate that, Dharma, man, and congratulations on the couple of hundred. Man,
what scratch off was it?
He's having a hell of a week. He won a couple hundred on a scratch off. The Giants beat the Titans.
What scratch off was it? I want to go buy one. I usually get the cash word scratch offs because they take a long time.
They're more fun. Well,
I always figure that's worth $2.
My friend, and he's crazy. I would never do this. And this is years ago. I don't think he would do this now. He's married with a wife and kid.
It changes things.
Yeah. Once a year, when I was like 23, 24, he would go into a random 7-Eleven and he would buy a whole book of scratch offs. Like whatever it would cost. I don't know. It was like $20 scratch offs.
Yeah. Oh, $20 scratch offs?
Well, whatever it was. 10 maybe. It wasn't like the $2 ones. It was like $10 ones. He'd buy a book.
I think there's 250 in a roll, if I'm not mistaken.
Whatever
I don't know if it's that for like the higher end ones.
He spent like a couple of grand probably on a book of these. And he would just scratch them all off in hopes to hit a big one. And he would do it like once or twice a year. I never did the scratch offs. I'm not big into them.
You get some of it back. I mean, you're going to lose more often than not.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you only did it once or twice, it's not like he was doing it once a week.
No, not once a week.
I mean, I could see. I wouldn't buy like a $10 or $20 roll, but I could see myself buying like a $2 roll of like.
Well, that's a couple $100, right? I mean,
$500 it'd be.
Yeah, once a year.
The only reason I know this is because my wife and we got married. That was our one of our little wedding gifts to everybody. We bought a roll of like Lucky 7 scratch offs.
Okay.
And everybody got one of those. And it was $250 for the roll. That's the only reason I remember that.
Yeah, no, these weren't dollars. These were like $10 scratch.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing that. I am definitely not doing that. Israel Sharif Fukar, thank you so much. I appreciate it. How big was the preseason comebacks for week 1 victory? Hope all is well with you too. BBWC, Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Yes, indeed.
I don't think it had any relevancy, if I'm being completely honest with you, Israel. Daniel Jones wasn't even in for those comebacks. Barkley wasn't. It was the backups going up. It was McDonald's workers going up against other McDonald's workers. That's obviously a joke, but it was a lot of the guys that were both playing for the Giants and going up against Giants are not NFL players. So no relevancy whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it was a watered down playbook too. You weren't even getting the real playbook.
It was. But you know what I liked? And again, I will continue. I think Howard Cross, and I would have never known this had they not broadcast the Jets and Giants up here. I think he made a great point that the Giants get out of the huddle a lot earlier. And they get up to the line with 20 seconds on the play clock. Whereas before, Joe Judge are getting up there with 5 seconds and they got to hurry and you can't change a blocking. You delay a game, or you're under haste and you make a mistake. False starts, delay a game. I think that in the preseason, perhaps the tempo helped the Giants. I don't know about the comeback. I wouldn't say the comebacks because, like Chris said, the guys that were coming back aren't on the team. But I think the big thing in the preseason was the tempo. And
yeah, I'm sure little things I remember the second game in particular with the first team offense. They definitely they worked with a hurry up throughout the period the whole time.
Oh, I'm not even talking about the hurry up. I'm just talking about like they're not up there.
They were quick to the line. Yeah.
Yeah. And they did that this week. You saw Daniel Jones get to the line with 18 seconds on a play clock. And you know, how nice was it, guys, to watch the Giants play? And I don't remember one time where that play clock was running down and they had to take a timeout. I don't remember it once.
No, you're
Maybe
right.
it did happen once, but I don't remember it happening.
Nope. You're right about that.
So that's a big difference. Because again, when Daniel Jones is coming to the line of scrimmage, you know, one of his things is he can't read the defense. Well, when you have 4 seconds where we have to get the play clock of what can he do? If he has 15 seconds, he can go, yep, Mike's over there, blitzes come from there, move this around. And again, they got to get up to the line of scrimmage early if they want pre-snap motion, because if you're getting up there 4 seconds ago, you're not going to be able to move anybody.
And what's more impressive about it is it was on the road too.
Right.
Where it's typically, you know, where you may struggle and have to waste a timeout here and there because of the crowd, right? So yeah, good point about the getting to the line of scrimmage.
Howard Cross, man, he's the one that came up with that.
That's a good
so one good thing did come out of me not being able to watch the game and listening.
Speaking of which, talking about the home crowd having an effect, I don't know. I'm assuming you heard what Wink had to say.
He said he wants MetLife to be fired up.
Yeah, and I loved hearing that because, I mean, how could you not love hearing that as a fan of the football team, him involving you as an individual? He's basically saying, you guys, not that we're as important as the players, but you guys have some significance into whether or not we are successful as a football team. We need you to show up. We need you to be a part of changing this culture in getting this team back to where it needs to be. I need you to be loud. And when I heard that, I got goosebumps. I'm like, that's what I love hearing that. And we know that MetLife Stadium over the last 7-8 years, mainly probably due to the fact that the team has been bad, has been a ghost town in terms of, being loud and
home field advantage, right?
And I think that should invigorate. The fan base. And I don't want to take credit for this because I saw somebody say it on Twitter, but I said it on Patricia Traina's stream as well. And when I forgot who it was, but I think it was somebody in my comments when I posted a tweet, and I'm like, that's a great point. When they cut away to the Jumbotron and they show players saying, get up, just play his speech. Just play his speech and get your ass out of your seat and be as loud as you possibly can. And give those players, show those players love, man. Give those guys an opportunity to go out and win that football game. I loved it. I loved hearing that. From Wink, man, it pumped me up as a fan.
Yeah, and it should pump me up as a fan. Now, what I said, because I heard and I mentioned it in one of the videos, I don't think it was the one I did yesterday, maybe the day before, maybe it was even before, whenever Wink mentioned that. The Giants fans, when we start, they're going to be fired up. We're 1-0. We're feeling good. It's the home opener. It's up to the players to keep the fans in the game. Because 13-0 going into the locker room again.
Oh, it'll die real fast.
Right. So we want to get off. Wink wants the fans to get up. I have no doubt that place will be electric to start. You give them a reason to stay in it like that. Go up 14-0 in the first quarter. Get out to a big lead. Let that defense wreak havoc on frickin' Baker Mayfield and force some turnovers. Give them a reason. Kick Carolina's ass like we did last year. We beat them 25-3. Even though it was a really ugly game. I think we were winning 5-3 at halftime.
That was the game where Jones made the catch.
Yes. But we were winning like 5-3 at halftime.
So it was 5-3.
But we were not completely down. So get off to a really good start. Get off to a hot start. The first time you have the ball, go down and score a touchdown. Get that crowd in there. And then the defense, get a 3 and out. And let the Giants fans feel what it's like to be good again. Because like Chris said, it's been a long freaking time since we've really had anything to be excited about. I mentioned on Twitter, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm excited to watch them play. It's been a long time where I could sit there and go, God, I really feel like we're going to win. And again, they're the Giants. So it's not like we can take anybody for granted or we're that much better than Carolina. It's not like Carolina can't beat us. We're not superior to them, but we're good enough to beat them. And I feel like we're going to beat them.
I think we got a good chance to win this game, and we'll see. One other thing that we need to talk about, we got a reunion. We got Ben
McAdoo.
Ben McAdoo coming back. You also have the Dave Gettleman storyline, being that he was the GM for both these teams. He also drafted arguably two of the top 3 or 4 running backs in the sport going up against each other.
McCaffrey,
with McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. But the biggest storyline for me is McAdoo, and the thing that I'm most, at least from a strategical standpoint, that I'm most enticed by in this game is Wink versus McAdoo, because I feel like they have such contrasting styles. you have a guy in Wink who wants to blitz at every opportunity he could possibly get. And you have a guy like McAdoo who wants to get the ball out of his quarterback's hand as quick as he possibly can. So I just think it's a very interesting matchup between the two, the cat and mouse game between the ultra aggressive defensive coordinator and the guy that kind of has a scheme that works well against the blitz.
Right.
So I think that is a really interesting storyline from within this game. And I said it on Patricia Traina's stream tonight. If I'm Wink, and I didn't know this, apparently this has been reported in practice, and she said it after I said it in the stream. If I'm Wink and I'm the Giants defense this week, going up against a defense like McAdoo, where you know they're going to get the ball out within 2 or 3 seconds when they drop back to pass, going up against Baker Mayfield, who's kind of new to this scheme, new to the wide receivers, and you know he's going to be quick on the trigger finger, you need to be coaching everyone up on this defensive line this week. You need to overemphasize it. Get your hands up at the line of scrimmage because he's going to be trying to get that ball. He's going to have slants over the middle. He's going to be trying to get rid of that ball. You're going to get some opportunities to tip some balls in this game.
Yep.
And that may result in some interceptions and turnovers. If there was ever a week that you want to really stress that in practice, I think it's this one.
Yeah. I also think you could see some safeties play up in the box, not only because he's going to get rid of the ball quickly, but obviously you want to try to stop Christian McCaffrey. So it might be up to Wink to say, I'm going to bring these guys closer to the line of scrimmage and make Baker beat us over the top if I blitz him and see if he has any time to throw the ball. So like you said, it'll be very interesting to see exactly how they do it. But you make a great point. Get your hands up in the air and try to knock the ball down on a quick slant or knock it up in the air for an interception. So it'll be interesting. But Baker definitely is a guy that can turn the ball over. So we got to get some pressure on him.
4 fumbles week one. Amazingly, they didn't lose one of them.
Yeah, he's turnover. We can get some turnovers on it. Let's hope we do. Dashy, my friend, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. He says Ohio State hosts Toledo tomorrow night. I will not take Toledo for granted. Yes, it's a battle of Ohio. Well, you can't take anything for granted, Dashy. If you saw Marshall beat Notre Dame, you saw freaking Georgia Southern beat Nebraska, you saw Kansas beat West Virginia, and you saw Appalachian State beat A&M. So, and Texas almost beat Alabama. So, yeah, can't take anything for granted. Can't take anything for granted. Fuego Dharma, thank you again. I really appreciate it, brother. He says, it's been a minute. I do, however, watch all of y'all's videos, but it's a Virginia lottery scratch off one of the tickets. I'm in New York, so I don't have the Virginia one.
Congratulations, man.
Yes, and thank you for watching the videos, man. I really appreciate that. That helps out. The channel is huge. Watching the videos, it helps out any content creator if you watch the videos. And like I said, hit the thumbs up and leave a comment. Every one of those things is free, but that helps every content creator out huge. Every one of them that makes a video, that helps out enormously.
Yeah,
YouTube likes that. That's one thing I know YouTube does. Like a lot of times, can't figure out YouTube to save my life, but that's the one thing I figured out. They like when you hit the thumbs up, which is why I always ask. It's just a power of suggestion or a little reminder and leaving a comment. They do like that. Anthony Razza, Paisano, thank you so much. Giants need to pressure Mayfield early and often. Force him to make mistakes. He will make them. Knicks is everywhere, Baddog. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that's what I said, Anthony. They're everywhere. It's not just a New York thing. They are everywhere. But if you go to Knicks.com and just go to like shops near you or whatever, I think there's something that's like shops near you, and you click on it and put your zip code in, and it'll show you all the stores that carry Knicks ice cream. I'm telling you guys, you will love Knicks ice cream. I
might have to get some myself. But as far as Anthony's comment, that's obviously you got to get pressure. And it'll be challenging, right? Because we don't have our 2 best edge rushers. You're going to have Ward and obviously O'Shane Zimenez probably back out there this week because our 2 top guys are doubtful. It's going to come down to scheming pressure and present deception. But I think and that's what I expect them to do, especially after the performance that Ekwonu had week 1, albeit against probably the best edge rusher in football, in Myles Garrett. But he got destroyed. He gave up 2 sacks, 4 pressures, had a 41 PFF grade. If you're Wink in this game, and we saw it, throughout training camp, how complex this defense can be for a new offense. And that's what this is, right? Ben McAdoo, new offensive coordinator. Yep. They're all learning a new scheme. It took the offense 2 or 3 weeks to get used to playing against this defense in training camp because of the aggressive nature of it. And you've got a rookie left tackle having to deal with that in his second game in the NFL. and you got a quarterback that has no chemistry yet with his weapons in this specific offense, I think you got to overload the left side. You got to try to take advantage of Ekwonu on the left side. And I think there's going to be opportunities to get after Mayfield, even without our edge rushers. I do. I think you're going to be blitzing. Maybe it'll be Darnay Holmes in the slot, whatever it is. I think there's going to be opportunities to create pressure off of that side, and I think that's where they're going to attack them.
Yeah, one thing I was going to ask you about, I'll get to these super chats, and I'll ask you about Kayvon Thibodeau because he said something interesting. Jason, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it, brother. He says, going to my first Giants game this Sunday. It's always fun. You never forget your first time. What's the best way to go about for parking? I'm clueless. I don't park down there often. I always bought my parking passes when I got down there. It's not cheap. I can tell you that.
Yeah, parking's expensive, Jason. But my answer to you would be, and I don't know what your plans are when you go to the game. I don't know if you're meeting friends and they're tailgating. I don't know if you plan to tailgate at all. I don't know if you're just parking and then you're just going to walk straight into the stadium. If you're going to tailgate, you have to park in the stadium parking. You know, if you plan to grill and but they do have parking lots away from the stadium where you kind of could walk to the stadium. It's probably about a quarter of a mile, and it's still stadium parking. It's not like it's like an off-brand parking, and I believe it's a little bit more affordable. It's not quite as much as if you're parking like inside the gates, and there's signs for it. You won't have trouble finding it. But if you plan on tailgating, you have to park inside the gate. You're not going to be able to tailgate on the parking that's all away from the stadium.
Right.
At least that's my experience when I go.
Tommy, my friend, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, my man. He says, not a fan of teams hosting games versus division opponents on Thursdays. Seems like an ultimate advantage. Can we win in Dallas on Thanksgiving? Yes.
Yeah, of course we can. I mean, we don't even know if Dak's going to be back by then. We'll see. Probably will be.
Yeah, we can.
But we don't know that for sure. And it's impossible to answer that right now because I don't know what the Giants are going to look like by then.
Right.
Are we healthy? You know, so let's talk about Dallas week 3 first. And yes, we could beat them week 3.
Yeah.
I'll worry about Thanksgiving is that it gets closer. But yes, we could beat them week 3.
I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. That'll be my cheat day for the week.
Well, yeah, better be.
Well, I'll still eat a ton of turkey. I mean, that's what I eat anyway. But y'all have me some stuffing and a pie and a couple beers, and then I'm going to come home and stream the game. Mets, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Fire up the crowd. Play skill. It's beyond incredible. I don't know what that is.
They just need to play me yelling stand up at the start of the game.
They should do that too. You know, so I know that at least I've seen this for what I like when the Packers play. Like I've noticed they've used a clip of like Tom Grossi at some point.
At the stadium?
Like on ESPN, their intro. I remember seeing that.
One time, but not like a multi.
Right. No, I think I've seen it more than once.
Oh, really?
But yes, when the Giants play on Monday night, yes, it should be us sitting here and you going, stand up, like when I'm spinning around.
I like it.
Why don't, hey, ESPN, I know you're watching. Yes, you need to contact us and say, can we use that clip? And we say, yes, put us on the intro.
I'm all for it.
And make sure that, you know, everybody knows it's Chris and the Baddog.
Grossi has a good, he works with some former Packers. So he's got like ties with that organization. I think he I don't know if he still has it. I know last year, I think he had a show with the former running back who played for the Giants also, Ryan Grant. Ryan Grant. Yep. He had a weekly show with him. I don't know if he still does, but that I was
we got to get some players on here. I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's time. Sam, if they'll come on. Samuel, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like Brandon Jacobs will come on here.
Get him on.
How cool would be to have Brandon Jacobs for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Kenny Smith says do a perfect stand-up now. I'm gonna save it, Kenny, for Sunday. You'll get a really good stand-up, especially if we win. You'll get a really good one.
We got a really good one when we did win last week. Thought Chris was gonna lose his voice.
I kind of did. I didn't talk for 2 or 3 days after the game.
I watched that back. I'm like, damn, Chris was like, I was spinning around, so I don't really hear you. But when I watched it back, I'm like, damn, Chris, I thought Chris was going to lose his voice.
I'll tell you what, I'm a very calm guy, but when it comes to the Giants, especially when it's a close, it's all bets.
Yeah, I remember you breaking beer bottles.
My fanhood comes out when the game's on the line for a Giants game.
Well, of course. Samuel, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Says Talking Giants is on. Life is good. Thank you, buddy.
What's up, Samuel, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Appreciate it. We still have 600 in the chat. So like I said, hit the thumbs up if you haven't. YouTube likes that. Subscribe, ring the bell. You're going to want to be here all year. We do this all year. We're going to have a ton of videos. Like I said, join the roller coaster ride. It's a lot of fun. But you got to make sure you go into the description and subscribe to this young man over here. We're going to be on his channel Sunday for the game, Carolina and the New York Giants. We alternate channels every week. We do the game together. We always have a lot of fun. Last week, we had over 5,500 people in the chat at the end of the game, which is really freaking cool. So like I said, you want to subscribe, be a part of the fun. If the Giants are good this year, you definitely want to come along for the ride because it's been a fun ride, even though the Giants have been absolutely horrible. So maybe this year things change. Maybe we are starting to get some breaks, Chris, right? The guy missed a field goal. We come back and win. We're going to play Dallas without Dak Prescott. Maybe some things are starting to, maybe some good mojo.
Maybe we're finally winning our scratch-off ticket.
Yes, I'll take it.
Maybe we're finally winning our scratch-off ticket.
The big move. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. Would finally like to go out in public and wear my Giants shirts after week 1 and hear positive thoughts from people. That's what happened to me. I was at the post office picking up that ice cream today. Or I'm sorry, yesterday. Well, I had to get it today, but it wasn't ready yesterday. But I went there yesterday. The guy was a Bills fan. He's like, man, he goes, you guys got a big win. He should start talking to me. And Bills fans, Bills fans are happy for me. Like even at the grocery store today, guys, like I'm a Bills fan. He goes, well, that's a big win for you guys, man. I'm like, yeah, we don't get a lot of them. So even Bills fans are happy for Giants fans, man. I mean, listen, I did that post-game video and there was Eagles fans on that saying, I'm happy for you, man. You guys deserve it. I'm happy for you. They're like, just keep Dallas in the basement. Screw Dallas. We're happy. That makes me feel good. That's how bad we've been when Eagles fans are like, yo, we're happy for you, bad dog. Yeah. When Eagles fans are happy that we won, that tells you how bad we've been. So I want to win be 6-1, and then they're not happy because we're in first place.
Eagles fans, if you're watching, I tip my cap to anybody that said they were happy for you, bad dog.
Yeah.
I will never. I don't care how bad it gets for the Eagles. I don't care if you guys go 0-16 for 13 straight years. I will never be happy when you guys win a football game.
Yeah. I think they were just happy for me.
I know. I
just
can't stand the Eagles.
Still made me feel good.
I have a deep hatred.
I'll never be happy for them either. Screw them. I hate them. Speaking of an Eagles fan, there's one right there. Our guy Jeremiah. Thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate the swole dog and the slim Tainah.
What's going on, Jeremiah? Good to see you, man. See, I can like people that are Eagles fans.
Yeah,
I like Jeremiah. He's always a nice guy. Always pops into the streams when he can. I like you, Jeremiah. I just can't stand your football.
I hate the team. Like I love Philly 500, but I hate the team. I will be honest. I made sure to let Mark Holmes know that the Cowboys sucked and they're in last place.
Yeah,
because he goes, oh God, even Bad Dog's in here. I'm like, oh yeah. Because how many times he trolled me, put our reactions or Philly 500's reaction on his channel. I always tell him that's your best content when you take ours. But I'm like, yeah, you guys stink. And I hope they continue to stink. Dashy's in the chat. We know the Bengals are going to whoop their ass. We have to take care of business. We got to be 2-0. They got to be 0-2. And then we just got to take our foot and step right on their damn
Washington got this week. I didn't even look. Who do they got this week?
Who's that?
Washington.
I don't know. Philadelphia's got Minnesota.
That's a good game.
Right? Do they have Minnesota?
Yeah, they do. On Monday Night Football.
Yeah. I forgot Washington has this.
I'm going to look right now. Washington has the Lions on the road. So that could go either way. The Lions almost beat the Eagles.
They did. Connor, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Did you see OBJ's tweets? Can it happen? I saw it. I retweeted it. I said, what are you waiting for? Come home.
No, there was another one.
License plate guy. I saw it.
Oh, you saw that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what does it mean? He basically said in the tweet that
pay me the bag.
If the Giants offer him money, he'll come.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean if the Giants offer money, yeah, he'll come. Yeah. That's not a
we'll
surprise.
Offer money. I don't know if it'll be enough. Of course, we're going to offer money.
Yeah. He that's what
he's okay. He made enough money. Just come home.
Yeah.
Dashy, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. He says, as a Reds fan who can't stand the Brewers, it'll be funny if the Yankees swept the Brewers. I'll tell you what, the Yankees are trying to blow this game, Dashy. That's just what we do. Frankie Montas saying it, but I'm hoping that we can win this game. We need all the wins we can get. We were up 5-0. Now it's 5-5. Brewers got first and second bottom of the 6th. Montas can't get it done. Tutto grazie, paisano. Grazie. He says, massive salute to Baddog and Tainah of all the dire Giants fans in the chat. Kink it. Kick. You can kink them too. Kick it. Slap the stinky boys losers at the dough.
Forget about it. What's going on, Tudo, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Our guy, Tuto, nursing another injury, ready to, like a caged animal over there. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Can Baddog hang with Weatherford in a gym workout? I'm looking at you. You probably could hang with him.
Yeah, let me take a bet.
Man. All right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Chris. I think you could hang with Baddog in the gym.
Chris, I think you and I, Chris Califf, I think you and I can hang with Weatherford in the gym. Yes, I do. Because Weatherford's not like my age. Yeah, I pride myself on being the hardest working guy in the gym. Weatherford, I may not be able to hang with him, but I would give 110%. I would do everything I could to hang with him. Actually, Chris, the question isn't can we hang with Weatherford in the gym? It's can Weatherford hang with us? That's really the question.
There you go.
Weatherford's jacked. But
yeah, he's
jacked. Yeah. Tommy, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. You need a stop on third down. That's a fact. 2007 or 2011 Giants.
Not even close.
Yeah, 2007 over.
Not even close. Yeah, 2007. 2007, you still had Strahan. And I know JPP was great in 2007.
2007 was just a special year.
Yeah, I mean, their defensive line was the best in football in 2007. So, 2007.
Yeah, 2007, definitely.
OC, Tuck, and Strahan on the same line.
Yeah. And then you had Matthias Kiwanuka out there as well.
And then you had a good interior, too. That line was awesome.
That line was awesome. Triple Crown Media, thank you, my friend. Sicilian Delight again, Sunday, Baddog. My lady is hooked. Let's go.
What is
Sicilian Delight.
What is that?
I don't know. I wish I did. Sicilian Delight.
Sicilian Delight. It sounds like
sounds dirty.
It sounds like maybe like a special cannoli or something.
Yeah, it's a special cannoli, all right. That's, so I don't know what Triple Crown Media is doing, but he's doing something right. It sounds like to me. But yes, let's get a W. Let's get a W. I don't know. What the hell is a Sicilian Delight? I'm trying to think. I can be a delightful Sicilian now and again. Yeah. When the Giants are winning, I'm very delightful. When they're losing, I'm a cold prickly. When they're winning, I'm a warm fuzzy. That's usually how it goes. Raphael, thank you for the super chat. I'm usually a warm fuzzy anyway. Just when the Giants piss me off, I'm not. My sports teams make me more mad than anything else, except for the people that can't drive. They really tick me off too. But like nothing else really upsets me in life. But my sports teams and bad drivers seem to be what really ticks me off. Yeah. Raphael, thank you, my friend. Like you guys, my heart can't take these close games. That's why I stay in shape, because I'd pass out.
I would love it, Raphael, to have. I want to be talking about cannolis in the fourth quarter with Baddog.
Yes,
because we're up by 40 points. Right. I would love to have one of those games, but don't bank on that.
Yeah, eating some Knicks ice cream.
Yeah,
that's what I want to be doing. Let's go. Irish Rover, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Kevin and Chris, just a quick hello. Hello. Irish Rover, you're the man. He says, we all need to work hard for Chris to get to 100K. 24-21 Giants. Much love to everyone in the chat. Thank you, Irish Rover. How about
I gotta get to 44K before I get to 100K, Rover, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man.
It's a long haul, but you
I don't even, if it happens, it happens.
It'll happen.
I fun with you guys.
It'll happen. 24-21. How about 24-10 Giants, so that we don't have to sweat it out? How about that? I'm not saying that's the score, but I would like it to be.
I would like it to be the score. I think it's going to be right around
21-17 Giants.
To be honest with you, Rover, if I wasn't superstitious like I am, so I am going to pick the Panthers just to keep the streak alive. That would be the score I'd pick. 24-21 Giants.
Yeah, I'll say this. And again, you can go to mybookie.ag and you can bet on this game or any other game. If you want to have your deposit doubled, or at least a matched deposit, just enter the promo code BADDOG, the way it sounds, BADDOG. Make sure you go to MyBookie and you bet on the game. But yeah, the Giants are favored by 2.5. Always a trap. So again, I don't bet on NFL. I like to bet on college football. Hopefully I have a better week than I had last week. It was terrible. I'd lean Carolina just because I think I'm superstitious too. And I have a hard time picking the Giants.
Well, from a betting standpoint, not that, this is a betting show, but if it's 2.5, and if I like the underdog, I would just bet that money line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because what's the chances that they're going to win by 2 or 1? You might as well get the better odds. And
Oh,
of course,
we did win by 1 this week.
yeah, of course, if it happens, you're going to feel like an idiot.
But yeah, of course. I mean, if it's 2.5, you always you're going to take just take the money.
Take the money line, so you get plus 130, plus 140, instead of minus 110.
Right.
But yeah, to me, that'd be what I would do if I was going to pick an underdog in a situation like that.
Dominic, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Says, I thought this was Talking Giants, not the YouTube gun show. Bad dog looking swole. I'm trying to look like something. I don't know. My buddy and I joke around all the time. Like, I got to make the cover of Straight Shit magazine. That's my goal, because I look like straight shit. Well, we joke around about it all the time, saying we look freaking terrible. But a lot of work in the gym, a lot of clean diet. And yeah, that's why these guys sponsor me, because I can eat ice cream. I look like this and eat ice cream every night. And I do. I'm not BS. Ice cream is fantastic.
I just got to
go.
The
best thing that ever happened to me was finding Nick's ice cream. It really was, because I still love Kodiak pancakes, but this allowed me to have a sweet. Who the hell don't love ice cream? Unless you're lactose intolerant, then obviously you're gonna have some issues. Luckily, I'm not. But yeah,
I'm gonna pull a bad dog. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
There you go. Good, because then it's my turn to go to the bathroom after that. But Chris peeing before me, mark it down. That's Chris going to the bathroom before me, mark it down. September 16th, 11:12. Because that never happens. I always have to go potty. But thank you, Dominic. I appreciate the compliment. And yeah, man, I'm trying to stay in the best shape I can. I'm 46, my kid's 5, so I want to be around a long time for him. Dashy, my friend, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bengals are favored by 7 over the Cowgirls. Mark Holmes thinking Dallas is winning. I don't think so. I will say who day when we went on Sunday. Listen, Mark Holmes doesn't know what day it is. Philly 500 says I work for NASA. Mark Holmes lives on Mars. That dude thinks Dak is the greatest quarterback ever. Thinks they're going to win every game. Kick their ass, Dashy. Not even by 7. Kick their ass by like 27. Joe Burrow had a horrible game. Turned the ball over, 4 or 5 times. Still could have won if you would have made a field goal. So Joe Burrow, just light them the hell up. Win that game there, and your defense shut them down. Win that game like 34-10. Just embarrass them. Tutto, grazie, paisano. Grazie. Kevin, we ain't worried about the game against the Carolina Pink Panthers. I like that. The Pink Panthers, which was my favorite cartoon when I was a kid. Losers. Coaches need to show up and make in-game proper adjustments. We got this. Chris, that's one thing that we did see Sunday against the Titans was adjustments. Something we never saw with the previous coaching regime was an adjustment at the half. The Giants came out with a completely different game plan, shut the Titans down, went to Saquon Barkley, ended up winning the game. That bodes well for the confidence I have in this team, is that these coaches can find and make the proper adjustments to be successful. That was huge.
I'll say this. We saw adjustments, but they were negative adjustments. We saw Pat Shermer against the Philadelphia Eagles when Saquon Barkley was running like a lunatic, stop running the football in the second.
Right. That's when Philly 500 came up with the Bad Dog is a Mad Dog song.
Yeah, we've seen that. But yeah, in terms of positive adjustments, in terms of things not working well and changing your strategy in the second half to on the fly to combat what the opponent's doing. Yeah, we have not seen that in a while. And that's a good sign of a good coach.
Oh. The big moo. Thank you so much. Appreciate the super chat. Winning makes you smile the whole week. Yeah. Feels good. It does. Yeah, every video I started off was. People always like that. Like when Bad Dog smile, it's good. When Bad Dog starts the video out like this. It's night and day.
This is Bad Dog's. This is Bad Dog's face when the Giants play like they have been playing over the last 6 years.
Right. Yeah.
This is Bad Dog's face right now.
Right. You can tell Chris has been working with me a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, who just hit that? Aaron Hicks almost hit a home run. Oh, my God. He has a double already today. Wow. Triple Crown, thank you for the super chat, brother. I really appreciate it, my man. Sicilian Delights, a pizza chain in Central New York.
Oh, okay.
I remember you saying that you enjoyed their pizza. Ate there last weekend and got the W. Superstitions. That's going to be me with the breakfast. I don't ever remember. I love Sicilian pizza is my favorite, but I live in the upstate New York, not like central New York, but I do love Sicilian pizza. I get it from I Love New York Pizza most of the time. Oh, no, there's a place called Sicilian. Maybe that's what he's talking about. There's a place called Sicilians up here that makes really good pizza, but it's not called Sicilian Delight, but it's called Sicilians, and it's really good. Maybe that's what it was. That could be.
Okay.
That could be. Chris, my man, I always love to see a fellow gym rat. It makes me feel good. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. Believe it or not, Steve is my fitness mentor. Steve's my fitness mentor, and I've worked out with him a few times. Real genuine guy. I'll DM you and Tainah Vids pics. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, for sure, Chris.
That's awesome. Chris, when do I get in there with him? When can I get in there with him?
Get work out with Steve Weatherford?
Yeah, why the hell not? I work out with anybody.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to say this. Number one, because of my back, I can't squat. Like that, squatting and deadlifting is done for me. But when it comes to like working out, this is the thing. Steve Weatherford can bench 315. I know I can't. So I'm not about to sit there and try to do that. I would do what I can at the weight that I can do it. That's one big problem that people do in the gym is they ego lift or they're working with somebody that's like ahead of them physically. They try to match them. And I said, don't compete. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. You're in there for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Don't give a damn what they lift. It's not about them. It's about you in there. It's about making you feel better about yourself, feel better physically, mentally. People underestimate the mental value of working out. Trust me, it helps me huge. No matter a bad day, go in there and just relieve some stress. I feel good when I leave with the hit of dopamine, all that stuff. It's a lot that makes me feel good about going to the gym. But just compete against yourself. You know what you can do. You just push yourself to the limit you can push yourself to. Don't ever worry about anybody else. Because I can tell you, like every day, and this is a fact, because there's the back of my head, I'm thinking of competing next year. I'm thinking maybe I want to try. So when I get done with my workout, where else are you going to do this? You go in the locker room. There's mirrors. You pose. I pose. And, I heard these two kids because I have my headphones in, but the music's not on when I'm in there. Mm-hmm. And I hear them just kind of snicker and go, Jesus. And then I just laughed and I wanted to say, thanks for the compliment. Where else am I going to pose? But I'm thinking to myself, why are you worried about what I'm doing, man?
Yeah.
Worried about you. That's okay. I was just like, they're saying Jesus because like, man, old man's put together. But the gym is good stuff, man. I am a big, I talk about it forever. I could talk about that all day.
I see people doing that shit in my gym all the time. They go into.
You're supposed to though. That's where you do it. And
yeah.
Well, listen, bodybuilders will tell you, Noel Deitzel, Greg Dusey, you should pose every day for a few minutes just because it shows you're inadequate. It shows you areas you should work on.
Yeah.
That's really what it's for. And you can't worry. Like I said, I don't give a I know people probably go into the locker room and see me pose and go, oh, look at that douchebag. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's what the mirrors are there for. They're there to look at yourself. That's why the gym is full of mirrors. That's what it's for. Because God knows that I do it in the bathroom. My wife, you looking at yourself again? I'm like, yes, I am. And I always say to her, and you're looking at me too. You love it. ENA, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. It's super unrealistic, but if we can get a league record in sacks Sunday, I'd love it. Baker talks way too much for the little amount of talent that he has. I would love it anyway, but I don't think Baker has a little. I think Baker's talented. I think Baker's moxie gets him in trouble sometimes. Yeah. But I think Baker's not as talented as I thought he'd be at the next level. But he's good. I mean, Baker's not a bad quarterback. He's been in a couple of bad situations with a bad offensive line in Cleveland. And once the line was better, he was better. They dealt with a lot of coaching changes, a lot of turmoil in Cleveland. Kind of a bad situation. Granted, he brings some of that on himself. He's always been like that. He's always played with a chip on his shoulder. But one thing I'll give Baker is he's a gamer. He's not going to quit. He plays hurt. He plays injured. The guy wants to win. He's got the heart of a lion. That's why I've always loved him. And of course, I'm an OU fan. But that's why I've always liked Baker for that reason. I always want guys that will spit blood for your team. Is he the most talented quarterback? No. He's a shorter quarterback. He turns the ball over. He doesn't have the best arm. But he does talk a lot. And I think that's because he was I believe he was a walk-on at Oklahoma. And a lot of people didn't give him a chance. And I think that a lot of guys that come from that, where they walk on, no one gives them a chance, no one believes in them, they kind of have that chip on the shoulder. Look at Barkley, and Barkley's obviously ultra talented, but look at Barkley. You could tell he played with a chip on his shoulder Sunday. Everybody's counting him out. He's like, I'll show you. So
I mean, in terms of talent, just pure talent,
I think he's middle of the pack.
I'd put him with Garoppolo. I feel like they're similar for me. I think they're both guys that have proven when you have a great offensive line around them, a great supporting cast around them. And I think Garoppolo is underrated. Garoppolo is a higher career QB rating than Dak Prescott. People don't realize that. He's got a 99 career QB rating. But I put him and Baker in around the same level. I don't think either one of them is a franchise quarterback. I think they're quarterbacks that if you have a great supporting cast, they can win football games. Yeah. Neither one of them is a guy that's going to elevate a football team. That's my opinion on both of them.
Yeah, I thought Baker would be that guy when he got to the NFL. Obviously, he has not been. Dashy, my friend, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. I would stream Bengals Cowboys if my computer would cooperate and not be an ass. I hate when the computer's an ass, Dashy. My computer's been an ass many times. StreamYard is an ass. It freezes my picture. Don't know why it does that, but every now and again, you just see me stick, and then I'm back to, I don't know. It's very strange. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Chris, now it's my turn to go potty, so I know you can hold that.
All right, I'll talk to the chat.
You guys, while I'm in the potty, I always say, I'm going to go hit the head. You hit the like and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you go in the description. Hit the subscribe button for that, young man. Big moo. I'll get to that when I get out of the potty. I'll be right back.
All right, I'll skip that, and I'll talk to the chat. Afghanistan says both need great teams around them to be any good. Yeah, I listen. I think Garoppolo's a solid quarterback. He's nothing more, and I think the same about Baker Mayfield. What's going on? What's going on, Cup of Tea, man? Everett says DJ Moore will have a big game on Sunday. Here's my strategy with DJ Moore. Here's my strategy with the Carolina Panthers receiving core. If I'm Wink, and I really do think this is what he's going to do, and we talked about this earlier on the other stream, I'm putting Adoree Jackson on him the whole game. I'm mirroring DJ Moore, and whoever plays the second corner, I'm going to put on Robbie Anderson, but I'm going to have safety help over the top. Robbie Anderson obviously has straight line speed. You worry about him beating you over the top. I'm going to need to give more help to the second cornerback. So that's what I do. I say, Adoree, you have to find a way to man up DJ Moore. DJ Moore's going to get his catches, but you got to give more help to the other side with Robbie Anderson. He's a bigger threat going up against our second corner. So that would be my strategy. I think it's going to be the strategy the Giants come out with. Would you want Julian Love at safety or DB? I mean, I think at this point, I think he's going to be playing the safety. Everything I've heard, I don't think the Giants want to mess with him. They don't look at him as like duct tape like the previous regime did. I think they're giving him a bigger role in a defined position. So I don't think they're going to move him around. I think the only way that Julian Love will get moved to the cornerback spot is if it's like an emergency situation where there's a couple of injuries and they have no choice but to put him there. But I don't think they're going to move him.
My hand is itching, so I do believe I need to go get a scratch off. I think
Steve,
it's itching. My hand is itching.
You're gonna get a scratch. First and Glizzy, they feeling in that. What do you mean, Steve? You told me to ask. Said, what are you feeling in Tainah? Tell me. I don't know what you mean, Steve. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Baddog.
No, I'm just saying my hand is really itchy, so it must mean I need to buy a scratch. Big Moo, thank you, brother. Can't wait to have Aziz and Mr. Tibbs back for Monday Night Football against Dallas at home. I hope we do, man. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, Chris. Get this from Andrew real quick, and then Andrew, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. I'm nervous. Vibes from beating Seattle, then losing. That's what I'm saying. We can't have a letdown. They got to come out fired up and ready to whoop some ass. They got to get out to a lead and go. This is what I want to talk about with Big Moo's super chat, talking about Tibbs and Aziz Ojulari. So obviously Thibodeau was limited in practice. He was limited in practice Wednesday. To the video say he's probably not playing. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, he comes out and he says he's confident that he will play, but today he's limited and listed as doubtful. So how the hell can Thibodeau say, I feel great and I'm ready to go, and now he's doubtful? Do you think that that's just the Giants being extremely cautious and saying, no, we want to make sure you're 100% healthy?
That's exactly what I think it is.
Okay.
I think Thibodeau feels like he can play, but the Giants are playing it smart, and they're not. It's kind of like the Barkley situation, only the Giants let him play early on in his career when they probably shouldn't have, when they said it was going to be a 6 to 8 week recovery and they let him come back on the field 2 or 3 weeks later. I think the Giants are erring on the side of caution, as they should. And I think Thibodeau wants to get out there, he wants to play. Understandably so. He's a competitor. He's a rookie. He wants to prove himself. He was a high draft pick. He's excited to play in the NFL. But I think the Giants are doing the right thing. I think you play it as safe as you can with a guy that means as much as he does to the future of this franchise.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. I mean, I mentioned it. Sometimes you got to lose the battle to win the war. We've been losing battles and wars for years, but is it really worth chancing losing Thibodeau for 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks if he really ends up hurting the knee more, for a half of football? I mean, we did it with Daniel Jones. We brought him back too soon with the hamstring or the groin the one time, and you don't want to hurry back. And we're all excited to see him. I mean, we want to see him play. It's kind of like Xavier McKinney. I remember the first year he broke his foot and he was out for
half the year.
And nobody really talked about him. I remember he was coming back, and I did a video. I said, who's excited to see Xavier McKinney? The guy's always been my guy. And I feel the same way about Thibodeau. Like, I'm a defensive guy. So, of course, I want to see him and Azeez Ojulari and Wink Martindale's defense. Like, I'm pumped. Like, I want to see what they can bring. And I know of course, all Giants fans want to see it. But at the same time, we don't want to see it for like a half, and then we don't see it for 6 weeks.
Yeah, no.
So I agree, Chris. I think that's what it is. It's just kind of disappointing because the way he was talking Thursday, I'm thinking, oh, he's going to play. And now it doesn't look like he's going.
I think he's going to play week 3 if I had to guess. Because I remember when it first came out, they said it was going to be, I think it was like a 2 to 4 week injury. And I think I remember doing the math and saying, okay, week 3 is like a little bit more than 4 weeks. That's probably when they're going to bring him back, because you had to figure they were going to be as cautious as they possibly could. So had they lost, I don't know, maybe they rush him back week 1, but I don't think so. I think they would have waited till week 3 anyway. But I'm not going to say I'd be shocked if he doesn't play week 3. They may be extra cautious and bring him back week 4, but I'm leaning that there's a strong possibility we'll see him next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's when we see him. Philly D, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. He says, outsider here, but the Giants defense looked good. And that's without our 2 best edge rushers. So I'm excited.
I'll say this, Philly D. It looked good, definitely. But it definitely left me with concerns as well. Like, you saw some of the limitations. Our coverage at the linebacker spot, especially in this game coming up with Christian McCaffrey, we saw them get destroyed by the running back, the slot defense with Darnay Holmes. He was getting beat over the middle. But I'm not trying to downplay the defense. They were just as big of a reason we won as anybody. But you see some, I guess, like red flags.
Yeah, there's some holes there, without a doubt.
But for what they had going into that game, the effort was tremendous.
Yep. I agree. Dashy, thank you for the super sticker. I don't have coffee, so thank you for the $4 super sticker, Dashy. I appreciate it very much, my friend. Charles Barkley has the right idea. It doesn't show up on my StreamYard, but yes, F Philly, of course. Maestro says at some point within the next couple of years, New York will trade Tony, in my opinion. What do you make of this whole Kadarius Toney thing, Chris? Well, I mean, what is the deal with this guy? Like, how is it possible something always keeps him off the field? Always.
I'm not trying to get fans upset at me or him upset at me, and because I know he had a thing on social media yesterday.
Oh, that's right, he did. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not even going to tell you what I showed you because I'm not trying to get people to go after him because I don't want drama with the New York Giants. But
I didn't see that on your.
Oh no, he took a shot at Alex Wilson directly, like publicly on Twitter. But whatever. My what I think about Tony, you want me to be completely honest? I think he's a little soft mentally. I'm not talking about physically on the field.
Right.
I think he's a little soft. And my personal opinion of Tony is I think he needs to stay off social media.
Yeah.
And I know fans love his personality, and I'm rooting for the guy. He's a Giant. I love him. I want him to be great. It's New York. It's tough. I think it would be in his best interest to stay off social media. That's my honest opinion of Tony. And on the field, I have concerns whether or not this guy can stay healthy. And I think that anybody should, if they're being honest with themselves. Anybody should.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. Like I said, I mean, everything seems to just like out of nowhere. It's a hamstring. It's an ankle. It's like he's healthy and then all of a sudden he's questionable. Yeah. Or he's in the game and then he's hurt and he's out of the game. And you don't really get an update as to what the hell happened. He's just not there. And yeah, I agree. he may be a little soft mentally. And the reason I say that is this: when you're a professional player, you cannot battle the fans. You will lose. That is a losing proposition for you. You can't take on an entire fan base, because if you go after one fan, the fans are going to go after you, because the fans are the ones that pay your salary. The fans are the ones that pay their hard-earned money to go see you play, pay for parking, wait in lines, pay $15 for a freaking 12-ounce beer, pay to watch a horrible Giants team for the last 5 years, and all we can give a season ticket holder, just a season ticket account holder, is a free medium soda. You have pushed the fan base to the point of being just aggravated and pissed off all the time. And then if somebody says something to you and you respond to them, it's just a losing proposition. You can't win. If you want to win over the fan base, the best way to do it in New York is by giving 100%. If a fan base thinks you're selling yourself or the team short, they will let you hear about it. It's not personal. I've said before, New Yorkers are just very hardworking people. They are
a place to play. It's a very tough place to play. People know that when they come here.
Yeah, it is. It's hard. It's the best place. It's one of the best places in the world to play. It's one of the worst. If you win here, you're a hero forever.
Yeah.
If Daniel Jones won a Super Bowl this year, that would take a miracle. If Daniel Jones won a Super Bowl, I might just reach my hand into a glass of water and turn it to wine. Okay.
Right.
But if Daniel Jones won a Super Bowl, he'd be a hero. It would not matter what the hell he did the last 3 years. It would be erased.
Yeah.
It would be erased. And it wouldn't matter what he did afterwards. Would the fans give him a little bit of hell if he stuck? Yes, because that's just the way we are. We want to win. But at the same time, he would always be a hero. People would always talk about Daniel Jones. You win here, you are a hero for life. It does not matter. That's the thing. They will always appreciate and love you if you win.
Yeah.
It does not matter. But you could have the greatest career ever, but if you don't win, if you put up a bunch of empty numbers, as a lot of fans say, and in crunch time you fail, they're like, just ask Alex Rodriguez. That guy couldn't win here. Won a World Series. Fans laid off him for a little bit. And then he struggled in the postseason. They let him hear about it. But A-Rod will always be a champion, and fans certainly appreciate what he did now.
Yeah.
Eli Manning was, let's get rid of this guy. So I always will tell a story about the dude burning the jersey in the parking lot. Then he went to the Super Bowl. And at the end of his career, some people gave him a hard time because he wasn't winning. But who doesn't love Eli Manning as a Giant? What Giants fan doesn't love Eli Manning for what he did for the franchise?
Yeah. I'm gonna make a point real quick. And I see a couple people saying that they side with Tony. And I'm not going to bash anybody, whether, Alex Wilson, whatever, that you have your opinions of him in terms of Twitter and his opinions and whatever. But what I'll say is, to me, it's not about Alex Wilson. It's not about anybody regarding that. This is just my personal opinion. If I was Kadarius Toney's agent, especially being in New York, it's not professional and it's not the best of looks when you get into Twitter beefs and Twitter arguments, basically with nobodies. I'm a nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I mean.
That when I say he appears mentally soft, you may agree that maybe Alex Wilson was out of line with whatever he said. To go publicly, it just, to me, it's not a good look on him, and it makes me question whether or not he's meant to play in New York, because that's nothing. You think about Saquon Barkley, Baddog. Saquon Barkley heard for 3 years how soft he is by his fan base.
Yeah.
And this guy that's on social media, he sees what people say. Did he ever do anything like that?
No.
Eli Manning, Daniel Jones. Like, all
Daniel Jones.
Exactly. About him. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion on the matter. That doesn't mean I'm not rooting for the guy. That doesn't mean I don't want him to be incredible, because I do. And I do think he's talented, but I'm always going to share my opinion. And that's the way it came across to me. It's not professional, and to me it comes across a little bit mentally weak.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
You can't argue with the fans. Just you're a professional. You gotta act like it. It is what it is. Move on.
Yeah.
You're always gonna listen. They have millions of people that watch them. Millions. Tens of millions of people that watch them every week. They make tens of millions of dollars. You're going to get criticized and reach that big of an audience. You and I, in the grand scheme of things, are nobodies. We still have our detractors. And no matter what you do, no matter what you say, there's just going to be people that don't like you. No matter what you do, you can't make them like you. So everybody's entitled to their opinion. But you can't.
I'm not going to mention any names. I still haven't watched it. I had a guy make a 30-minute video destroying me. I didn't say a word because I knew that that's what he wanted. So I'm a nobody. Is Kadarius Toney like he has?
That's what I'm saying. He
has to be smarter. He has to be smarter, in my opinion. If I was advising him, especially being in New York where you're a lightning rod.
Yeah.
And I know fans like his personality. Hell, I like his personality. I laugh at some of the things he says when he says $1 $1. But for me, the way he handles the media, he could do a better job. And I hope he does because I want him to succeed here. I want him to do great here. That's just my opinion on the matter.
His PR guy needs to be better.
Yeah.
Your public relations guy needs to be better. I mean, that was the thing, with Odell Beckham. A lot of it was some of the things he said. The media always knew that they could get something out of him that he probably shouldn't have said. They always knew they could get some kind of quote or take something out of context and run with it. The difference was when Odell Beckham was on the field, and he did suffer.
By the way, Lucas says, what do you want the guy to do? I want him to do exactly what Saquon Barkley did.
Oh.
Ignore it.
Yeah, you got to ignore it.
Ignore it. Don't make a public spectacle about it.
Right. I mean, you can't fight it. Like I said, if I try to respond to everybody that hated on me on here, it's
ignore it.
Be half my day.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
To me, when you respond to that, it makes you look weak, not strong. It's like you. Why should you care what Alex Wilson thinks about you?
Yeah. Especially if you're a professional athlete.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion. Just ignore it. That would be what I would tell him. I'd be like, Tony, ignore it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You're in the spotlight. You're an athlete. You're in the biggest city in the world. You're a lightning rod. Right. What did Derek Jeter do? Derek Jeter handled it beautifully. That's my advice.
People want to get a response out of you. A lot of them try to do that. They want the attention. Don't give it to them.
Yeah.
Dre Luco, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh my, Johnny Wilson, FSU wide receiver 6'7" moves really well. Is Florida State playing tonight? They have another Thursday night college game. I mean, the Yankees are obviously on right now, but I didn't know they were playing. I think there's a Dashy. I think Dashy said that Ohio State plays tomorrow. I might throw some money on that. Why not? Why not? I like bet on college. Michael, my friend, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. Says Kadarius Toney's not in love with football, but he's a good football player. There's a difference. That's true. That's true.
I don't know. I can't say that. I mean, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I know that that's the mindset that people have about him because he likes to rap, but he may love football. I'm not gonna accuse him of not loving football. I'm sure there's things that Eli Manning loved to do outside of just playing football. He just maybe it wasn't as public in terms of Tony trying to be a rapper, but he may very well love football. So I'm not gonna kill him for that. I know people have said that in the past. Listen, if the guy produces, I could care less. But I just think for his well-being, especially in New York, because he'll get eaten alive, he needs to improve the way he handles the media, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. I don't think that he doesn't love football, but what I was agreeing with Michael is there is a difference between being a good football player and actually loving the game of football. There is a difference between having passion for the game, like 100% passion for that, and that's it, and just being really good. The most elite players have that talent, and they work harder than anybody. I always use Jordan. Jordan was the most athletic guy, most gifted guy ever, and he outworked everybody. Jerry Rice wasn't even the most athletic, gifted guy, but he outworked everybody. Tom Brady is certainly not the most athletically gifted guy. He outworks everybody. That's what I'm always saying. Like, I never understood why people hate on greatness or hate on success. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, to me, somebody that hates on success feels sorry for themselves that they're not successful. You should be inspired by people who are successful, and you should aspire to do what they do. I'm never going to be Tom Brady. I mean, I can't play a quarterback in the NFL. I don't have the talent. But watching a guy my age do what he does, I'm inspired by that. I don't care if he plays for the Giants or not. I'm inspired by greatness. That's why I'm a fan. That's why I love professional sports, because they do things that I couldn't dream of doing. And the best of the best work harder than anybody else. And I'm inspired with that. I want to work as hard. No matter what I'm doing, I work as hard as they do. I can't do what they do, but I can work as hard as they do at what I do. So I sound like John Madden there, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I do think there's a difference between guys that are passionate and guys that are just talented. You put them together.
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not accusing.
That's what I was agreeing with. I don't know what Kadarius.
But somebody said, I think it was the same guy said, just let Tony be. Yeah, you're not going to see me. I mean, I'm going to comment that's just facts. Like yesterday, I said the guy's had injury problems. That's not bashing Kadarius Tony. That's just a fact. Right. That's like me saying the sky is blue. But you're not going to see me go out of my way to trash Kadarius Tony. I leave the guy alone. I don't make videos trashing him. I think I tweeted out yesterday. I said, yeah, the guy has injury problems and he needs to overcome. He needs to get better in that aspect in a sport like this. But I got nothing against Tony. I want him to succeed just like everybody else on this team.
I can't guarantee that I won't. You know me. I have no problem.
Oh, well, if he deserves to be criticized, I'm going to criticize him.
Oh, I mean, I'll make a video tearing him up.
Yeah. But
come at me.
Yeah.
Come at me. Because I'll give it back to you. You don't
I had some. I think I made a video earlier in the year. Most people agreed with me. I don't think I got much backlash, but probably a little bit of backlash on Twitter where I criticized him for not showing up to voluntary camp. I thought it was bad. I thought it was a bad look on him. I don't care that it's voluntary. It's your first year in a brand new offense. You got a brand new GM. You got a brand new head coach. You're your second year in the league, and I know that it came out after the fact that there may have been a reason. And maybe there was, maybe there was a legitimate reason, but I thought, I criticized him for that. But listen, I don't go out of my way to bash anybody on the Giants. I give my opinion, and that's that.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, people are like, oh, you're bashing them or you're this, you're that, or whatever. And I'm always like, why can't I have my opinion? Why can't I be mad? Like, I don't understand people like, you shouldn't be upset about this. I'm like, why? Why shouldn't I be upset? Just because you're not upset doesn't mean I shouldn't be upset. Just because you don't want to criticize the guy and want to just look at the positive doesn't mean that I don't want to look at the entire picture. Yeah. For the most part, hey, Daniel Jones is great. And yeah, the interception was horrible. I mean, that's just the way it was. He threw a terrible interception. It was horrible. And when I'm watching that, I want to tear him up. And I really didn't. I was seething. But I'm just like, I can't believe he did that again. And I'm like, it's just a terrible throw. But again, he showed resolve and went down and won the game. So
in the moment, Baddog, I'm going to be honest with you. That was one of Jones's worst throws he's ever made.
Yeah.
That
was bad.
And I'm not trying to bash Jones because overall, he did exactly what I was hoping he would do in that game overall. But that individual throw, factoring in the circumstance, that's a point in the game where all the momentum shifted to the Giants, and you got to cash in there from the 11. So that was indefensible. It's exactly what I said when he threw it, and he can't have a lot of moments like that this year. He needs to grow off of that, and hopefully he does. You saw hopefully it was a teachable moment. Dable lit into him on the sideline. I know it came out after the fact that people said he didn't. I think he did.
He definitely did.
Yeah, lit into him on the sideline, and hopefully that's a teachable moment, and Jones grows from that. But that was an egregious throw.
So I said, and I forgot, it might have been Big Blue Stan. I forgot. Somebody sent me something on Twitter because I said in my post game, I talked about how I loved Daniel Jones's resolve. That was the most proud I've been probably for Daniel Jones since he became a Giant, because I felt like whatever was said there, he could have held his head low. He could have went out there and not done it. He could have felt sorry for himself. And he didn't. He responded and he won the game. Okay. And people would say you missed a field goal. I don't care. Daniel Jones did what he had to do. He's not on the field for defense. So he went down, got a touchdown and 2-point conversion. He won the game. Yeah. So somebody, and I said, I don't know if, they always handled Daniel Jones with kid gloves. And Brian Dable said, I'm not doing that. And I said, I don't know. I'm not a Buffalo fan. I didn't watch a lot of Buffalo Bills games. I said, I wonder if he chewed Josh Allen out like that. And I don't know if it was Big Blue Stan, but somebody sent me something on Twitter, and there is a clip of him ripping Josh Allen after a bad throw. So again, I don't know when that was, but maybe that's the type of thing a quarterback needs to get his ass in gear, because we saw Josh Allen take a monumental leap. Now, again, don't expect Daniel Jones to do that. He's not Josh Allen. There's
Yeah.
nobody's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but if he can, it's the confidence thing. And I'm hoping, Chris, like hell, what he did to win the game, they win a game, it gives the team confidence. It to me, what Daniel Jones did, all the teammates look at Daniel Jones and say, wow, the kid took he took an ass chewing from the coach and he went out there and he led us to victory. I think that makes the guy, and it doesn't matter what I think of Daniel Jones or what you think or anybody in the chat thinks or the media. It matters what his teammates and his coaches think. And to me, we'll see how he responds here against Carolina. But to me, that's something where if I'm a teammate of Daniel Jones, I'm like, all right, kid.
Here's the one thing.
You start to support him. You say, oh, wow, that's look at him. You really gain a lot of respect for him and a belief in him. So I think that was so huge for him.
Here's what I'll say about Jones, and it's how I felt, excluding you talked about his teammates and their beliefs in him. I could honestly say this, and it's not just because of how they handle the media. I truly believe that his teammates believe in him, and I felt that now for the last 2 or 3 years. I may not agree with his teammates at times, but I do believe that. Saquon Barkley's had his back from the beginning. Kenny Golladay, I do think they believe in him. I do think that he could be a good quarterback. I will say that, but he's got to do it this year, man. He's got to take that big jump, and hopefully that he needs more moments like that. That's a moment where he showed some growth, in my opinion, to be able to bounce back. Right? You're going to make mistakes. It's the NFL. That was a horrible one. You can't have many of those, but you're going to make mistakes. And we've witnessed this firsthand. I always hate to compare Daniel Jones to Eli Manning because he's not even close to Eli Manning. Not yet, anyway. Hopefully he gets there, but not even close to Eli Manning. So, but we saw it firsthand with Eli Manning. You talk about it all the time. He went to the game where he threw 4 or 5 picks. He ended up winning a Super Bowl that year, and he grew as a quarterback, right? So people were burning his jerseys against the Vikings. So, I just hope this is a moment that he learns and he grows and he becomes a better quarterback. I think it's in the best interest for this football team and this fan base if Jones becomes that guy, no matter how you feel about him as a Giants fan. So I'm hoping he grows from it. I hope he becomes a better quarterback, and it's a step. That week 1 was a step. We need a lot more than that, though.
Yeah, but that's what you want to see, growth.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, and within 20 minutes, I saw Daniel Jones grow more in 20 minutes under Daboll than I saw him grow in 2 years under Joe Judge.
Yeah.
So continue to do it, Dashy, my friend, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, my man. My plan on getting Little Caesars pizza tomorrow before Sunday. Dashy loves the pizza. I wish I was like, Dashy can eat anything and never gains a pound. Lucky bastard.
Good for him.
He eats the freaking Wendy's crispy chicken, the hot chicken, the pizza, the wings, never, not an ounce. I look at a pizza, 2 pounds. Stupid. Not fair. Not fair, Dashy. Not fair.
He's young. He's got the metabolism.
I guess. I want to know if Dashy drinks beer.
How old is Dashy?
Dashy, I don't know. Dashy, how old are you? Dashy's not as young as you think. I would think he's late 20s.
Okay, so no, he doesn't. Yeah.
He's over 21.
To quote Adam Sandler and Big Daddy, I look at a milkshake and my ass jiggles for a week.
Yeah, it sucks.
Like that's it. When I was a kid, I could eat 8,000 calories, wouldn't gain a pound.
So did I.
In a day. I could wake up, have Pop-Tarts, pancakes.
We did.
Whatever I wanted for breakfast. I'd go get fast food for lunch every day at school. And then I'd have a huge dinner and I'd have dessert. Wouldn't gain a pound.
Yeah. The funny thing is it's the same. My sister used to say to me all the time, how come Kevin can eat whatever he wants? He doesn't gain any weight. Well, I lettered in 4 sports and I was always active, but my metabolism was always extremely high. It started to lower about nice error by IKF, just cost the Yankees a run. That guy's complete trash. What a horrible signing by Brian Cash. My God, just unbelievable. Bring Anthony Volpe up already. What the hell are you waiting for? But I can eat whatever I wanted, and that's what we do. Donuts, Big Macs, French fries, pizza. Never gain a pound.
It was the best.
It was.
I weighed 155, 160 pounds, and I was eating 6,000 calories a day.
Now I freaking gotta eat 2,000 calories a day, and 70% of it's got to be protein for me to weigh 164. Not that I mind. I love chicken anyway. And Nick's ice cream, of course. Dominic, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. He says, I'd love to see a Twitter war between Baddog and Boone. Boone wouldn't stand a chance. Oh, Boone, I would embarrass Boone. Boone knows better. Wants no part. I don't even think Boone is on Twitter.
Boone, you know what, Baddog, and I'm sure you saw it. I don't. Obviously, I watched the Mets. I'm not a big Yankee guy, but I died of laughter when I saw the fake. I don't remember when it was. It was like I think it was probably like when the Yankees were first going through like a tough stretch, because I know they've been like through 3 separate ones.
Yep.
And he had like a almost like a rant during a post game, and he slammed the table. And I felt like the rant. I was like, that was rehearsed. Like it did not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in front of us. Oh yeah, it's fake.
After I saw it, I'm like, that is as fake as it gets. Like it was almost like he was trying to give the fans what they wanted, but you could tell it was so fake.
Yeah. If you want to see a real Yankee rant, watch me or watch Peter at MYY News TV.
Yeah, it was fake, man.
That's a real one.
Yeah.
That's a real one. I tell you, the Yankees are lucky they won the other night because Garrett Cole, I was going to tear him the hell up. He's going to get torn up anyway. I can already tell you. I can already tell you there is a Garrett Cole video that is on the way where I'm just going to shred that guy. It's coming. It's coming. It's going to happen. Dashy, my friend, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, my man. He says, I hate when the Bengals fans said the season's over. It's only one game. I know we're 0-1, but I want to smack Dallas, score more than 7. Number one, Dashy, I don't know why anyone would think your season's over. You guys are a really good team. You lost a tough game to an in-division rival. You never take those for granted. And I want you to beat Dallas by 27. So you'll be 1-1 after this week. You'll be on the roll again.
Yeah.
Your season's not over.
No, you guys, I don't want to use the term fine, but you'll bounce back. You guys will beat Dallas, and we'll see how you do this year.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You'll probably be fine.
Unless Eli Apple's still in your team, and in which case.
Yeah.
Dashy, you didn't have the super chat again, my man, but thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. 28 years old. Okay. I was right, late 20s. I drink a beer sometimes whenever the Bengals win.
Well, good for you, Dashy, that you could still eat whatever you want. You don't gain weight at 28 years old.
Some guys can do that.
Because that was not
There's guys my age I know that can do that.
I'll say like 22, 23.
I met my wife when I was 23, and I'd say within the first year I could tell that I couldn't do that anymore. I started a game. I became less active because I used to play basketball every day and everything else. But then you meet obviously you meet a girl, or if you're a girl and you meet a guy, or if you're a guy and you meet a guy, whoever, your significant other, you get my point.
Let's cover all the bases. You're a
when girl, you start, right, you're a girl, you meet a girl, whatever your preference is.
Yeah.
You meet somebody, you're attracted to them, you start dating, you just want to spend every waking moment with them.
Right.
That's really it. That's really how it goes. Then eventually, your relationship goes through a lot of stages, but that's what happened. I didn't want to do it. I just want to be with her all the time. So I stopped playing basketball. I mean, do I want to play basketball with a bunch of sweaty dudes, or do I be with my hot girlfriend? I mean, come on, man. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say about 25, my metabolism really just went to a stop, and I had to get it back. Philly, thank you, brother. Sims or Eli? I seen both. Sims should have 2. I still take Eli. I love Phil. Phil, you want to talk about a tough dude? Phil was tough.
Both of them tough.
Phil and Eli had a very similar career path.
Mm-hmm.
Phil got off to a really bad start. Now, Phil was injured at the beginning of his career, but he got off to a really bad start. He did lead the Giants. It's kind of the same. Like he got off to a shaky start, led the Giants to playoffs in 81, although Bruner finished out the year. Then he started, then he made the playoffs in 84, and then he won a Super Bowl in 86. Then he led the Giants and won 4 years later, even though it was hostile. Well, Eli got off to a bad start his first few years, but they were in the playoffs, won a Super Bowl in his 4th year, won a Super Bowl 4 years later. Sims belongs in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, but I would take Eli. I've seen them both. I would take Eli.
Yeah, I saw the very end of Sims, but I was not even old enough to like really comprehend like how good he was in 93. I remember watching him a bit when I was like 8, 9 years old. But what I'll say is this, and Baddog speaks on this better than me because he saw the totality of both of their careers. But for me, the reason I would say that Eli is probably above Sims Eli.
Yes. Sorry.
That's all right.
Josh Johnson, it went off the foul pole. We're tied at 6.
Eli carried.
That's not Josh Johnson. Who is that?
Eli carried a football team, and Phil Simms never did. Phil Simms always had an incredible defense his entire career when the Giants were at their best, right? And again, I can't speak on this as well as people that saw Phil Simms, but that would be my line of reasoning. And he, and Phil Simms had 1 or 2 really good statistical years for his era, but that's my line of reasoning. And Simms never had a year in like 2011. Eli never had a year like that.
No,
and that's not his fault. He didn't have to have a year like that, but he never did. That's why I put Eli above Phil Simms.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Eli should have won the MVP in 2011. That's going to be a nice cutoff there. He's safe. Look at the IKF's fired up. He just hit a double, so he wants to get that back. All right, come on, Yanks. Mr. Grandmaster, thank you for the super chat. I'm thinking that's there's 2 KTs, so I'm going to say this is Kadarius Toney. Seems to enjoy all the adulation, money, and fame that comes to being a pro football player, but he doesn't like the grind. And that's a fair assessment because I think that's the way a lot of people feel, that his heart's not in the game. And it's a fair assessment. Again, we don't know how Kadarius Toney really feels.
Yeah.
But when you see him out and like he doesn't go to OTAs and he doesn't go to the voluntary stuff and he's always got some kind of issue, it seems, where he can't play, you start to think, God, it seems like the guy's making excuses to not be on the field. And again, that's just what we assume. But, he can't get mad at somebody for assuming that because he hasn't given us a reason to think anything else. Again, I don't know how hurt he is. So that's the other thing. You never really know how serious the injury is. I mean, is it something he could play through and chooses not to? Or is it something that's really like, I can't go on this? Only he knows. But it's a fair assessment. And we don't know. Only he knows. But I understand why Giants fans would think that way.
Yeah, I understand it. I'm not gonna accuse him of that personally. At the end of the day, all I care about is if he produces on the football field. That's it. And to this point, due to the fact he's been hurt a lot, he hasn't been able to do it.
Yep.
That's it. And I hope he gets out there. I hope he produces on the football field. That's it. When I talk about that, I think he's mentally soft. I don't care if he's mentally soft if he produces on the football field, but in my opinion, especially in New York, would be in his best interest to avoid confrontation with the media and just average Joes on Twitter. So if he feels the need to get into Twitter beefs, if I was his agent or if I was his friend, I'd be like, just don't go on social media.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they do. I don't know why athletes would go on social media. I don't know. I don't know either. LA Lou, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. It wasn't Isaiah Karner Road, even though it set it up there. It was Cabrera that got the hit. Karner Road was going to bunt. It was a good one. All right. Guy got third base with just an update for Yankee fans. Third base, 1 out, top of the 9th, tied at 6. Who would I consider the ace right now? Nestor? Probably. It's not Cole. Cole's not an ace. Like people always say, he pitched great out, but he had that one bad inning. Well, aces don't have one bad inning every game. He has a bad inning every game. Or he gave him 3 homers at the bottom of the Red Sox order the other night.
Yeah.
Come on. You can't be giving up home runs to Reese McGuire. You're the ace.
To be honest with you, and I don't watch the Yankees like you do, but I don't think you guys have an ace.
No, we don't.
Like you have a number 1 pitcher on your staff, but to me, the definition of an ace,
shutdown guy. He's not that guy.
Yeah, and neither is
Nestor. Kind of is though. Nestor Cortez kind of is.
You think he's like? I don't. Again, you watch him more than me. You think Cortez is like
this year? Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have ace. Like he doesn't have ace stuff. When you think about an ace, you wouldn't think, oh God, Nestor's blowing you away. But the guy gives you 6, 7.
Well, I know he started off really good. And didn't he cool off? And I guess maybe
he was injured a little bit, and he cooled. I mean, he couldn't maintain a 1.5.
No, that was unsustainable.
But yeah, he's bounced back since the injury. He's been really good.
Yeah. He's been your best pitcher, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's an ace.
Yeah.
I would trust him over Cole if we had if it was a game 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dashy, my friend, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. He says, earlier this week, Guardians manager Terry Francona got ejected by Ron Culpa. It became a heated argument. Francona and Culpa had heated history. Yeah. Dashy always knows the umpires. It's amazing. I don't know how anybody knows so much about the umpires. Dashy knows more about the umpires than anybody I've ever met in my life. Seriously, man. It's pretty awesome. Dashy's good with that. Coda Trout, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, my man. He says, what's your thoughts on Kerry Collins?
I'll start. Yeah, I liked Kerry Collins. I mean, in the modern era, in the Super Bowl era, he's the third greatest Giants quarterback. Obviously, you go back before that, that's a different story. But in the modern era, and since I've been watching the New York Giants, he's the second best Giants quarterback. And I always like Collins. The one knock I'll have on Collins, or at least the way I felt about that offense overall, even though it was a very good offense, and he had a really good arm. The Giants were fortunate enough to get him due to the fact of the problems he had off the field. He was the 5th overall pick, went to the NFC title game in his second year with the Carolina Panthers, right? When they were an expansion team, the second year of that team. And the Jaguars actually went to they both had the same inaugural year, and they both went to their championship game in their second seasons. Brunell was the quarterback for the Jaguars that year. But the Giants were fortunate. He was very similar to me, Bad Dog. Not that I'm comparing what they did, but they both happened at almost identical times, and they both had bad history on their previous stops. Latrell Sprewell and Kerry Collins, both of them. And Latrell Sprewell had a huge impact on the Knicks, brought them to a championship. They didn't win. Same thing with Kerry Collins, and I think the Knicks kind of fell into that. The same thing with the New York Giants and Kerry Collins. And yeah, I was like Collins. My only knock with Collins overall, outside of his horrible Super Bowl, but he's going up against one of the greatest defenses of all time. I always felt like that offense was great from 20 to 20. They weren't great inside the red zone. That was always my overall thought process on Collins. But Collins was a very good quarterback. He was underrated, I feel.
Perhaps.
And he actually had success after he left the Giants. With the Titans, he was good too.
Right. Maybe it's because back then Ron Dane was ass, and they never used Tiki Barber on the goal line during the Kerry Collins days.
Yeah.
Tiki Barber was definitely our best running back, but they never used Tiki Barber down there. Ron Dane couldn't get a yard to save his life. Dude ran straight up and down, never lowered his shoulder. It was a joke. So they had a hard time getting those little yards in there. But I thought Kerry Collins was what we needed. He took a really average offense, if that. I mean, you look at the quarterbacks that came before him, Ken Graham, Danny Cannell, obviously Dave Brown. The offense was complete trash. Defense kept them in the games. Kerry Collins got there. All of a sudden, you had a quarterback that could launch the ball down the field. You had big plays, and it was much more exciting to watch the Giants offense. Obviously, Tiki Barber started to come of age. Not that he came of age when Eli became the quarterback. He became great, became Hall of Fame worthy, in my opinion. You got Jeremy Shockey his first year with Kerry Collins. That was an electric combination. Amani Toomer was in his prime. So the offense was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, they had a good offense. They had a really good offense with Hilliard and Toomer and Barber and Shockey, like you said, when we got him a bit after the Super Bowl appearance. So they had they had one of the better offenses in football that year. They went to the Super Bowl and they went 12-4.
Double A, my man. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. He says, rattle Mayfield early, force him into mistakes. Coverage needs to hold up on the back end. Blitz early and often. Not crowning number 26 until he puts the team on his back at least a couple more games. I think number 8's upside will prove out. I really can't argue with anything you said there, especially the beginning about Mayfield. I think if we can get to him early and rattle him, we can definitely force some turnovers.
You agree that, I mean, I'm assuming when he says that the end of that, he's saying that he thinks Jones is going to be the guy, right?
Well, listen, I'm not so I would kind of reverse. Yeah, I said I agree with like the first.
Oh, okay.
I would reverse the two. I would say I'm not crowning number 8 yet. I think 26's upside will prove out. But Adam, I think this is a big game for Daniel Jones, right? Because like I said, he took the team on his back after the terrible interception, brought him down the field, scored a touchdown. He has to build off of that. We saw him have that great game against the Saints last year, threw for over 400 yards, brought us back, won in overtime. And then I know he got hurt in the Dallas game, but he wasn't playing well before he got hurt. So he has to build off of this. He can't be that Jones that he's been the last 2 years where he shows flashes of being a really good quarterback. And we're like, oh, here he goes. He finally figured it out. And then he regresses.
No.
So I think the Boone is pissed right now, by the way. He just got thrown out of the game. Dashy, who just ejected Aaron Boone? I don't even know who the umpire is in this game. Boone just got ejected. I don't even know what he's talking about. This is in between innings. So that's the way I would look at it, Adam. But I think that Daniel Jones has what it takes. He has to believe it himself. And I think what he did Sunday, I think it bodes well for him.
He's a step in the right direction. And what else I said a bit before the year started, I think this will be Daniel Jones' best year as a pro. The question is it enough?
Right.
He has his best situation he's had, which is not saying much because he's had some horrible situations since he's entered the NFL. But he now, for the first time in his career, if he could remain on the field, the first guy you mentioned in that super chat, he has the true Saquon Barkley, in my opinion, for the first time in his career, which is a big difference maker for Daniel Jones. That is it. It's the first time he's had a true, legitimate top-tier weapon. Golden Tate was not a top-tier weapon. Darius Slayton was not a top-tier weapon.
Kenny Galladay is not a top-tier weapon.
Yeah, Kenny Galladay is not a top-tier weapon. These are not guys that you have to alter your game plan for. Saquon Barkley is that. And if you don't think he's going to make a difference for Daniel Jones, you're out of your mind. He is going to make a difference for Daniel Jones. He also has a dramatic upgrade in terms of the offensive play caller. You're going from Jason Garrett to Mike Kafka and Brian Dable. That is a significant upgrade. So all the factors are there to believe that Daniel Jones is going to have his best year as a pro. The question is it enough? I do think Daniel Jones has a better chance of coming back next year than a lot of people may think. I'll say that. I'm not saying it's 50-50, but I see like Danny Dudson here. I know he hates Daniel Jones, obviously, based on the name, and I understand it. He probably thinks it's 100-0 he's not coming back. I'm going to disagree with him. I think there is a legitimate possibility he could be back. I don't see it being like a 4 or 5 year commitment type of thing.
Yeah, tag.
Yeah, or no, it could be a Derek Carr contract too, where it's like a 3 or 4 year deal, but it's really a 1 year deal because there's only a $5 million dead cap at next year, which to me would probably be the smarter proposition because you could kind of maneuver the money the way the Raiders did, and he's only going $20 million against the cap this year, and you could get rid of him next year if things don't work out. But yeah, I don't see them giving him more than like a 1 year commitment where they could wiggle out of it if things don't start to improve. But I do see an avenue where Daniel Jones could be back, and I do think he's gonna have a good year if he could stay on the field. I just don't know if it'll be good enough. We'll find out.
Yeah. Cruzon, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Cruzon with me a long time. He says McCaffrey and Zeke are making $16 million a year. The Giants cannot make the same mistake. Barkley actually fell forward when he got hit. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Barkley would get a long-term deal. But then again, if the Giants don't give him a long-term deal and he has a big year, he's going to go somewhere else. So it'll be a tough one with the Giants because, do you want to give Barkley all that money and put all your money into a running back when you're still rebuilding? Or do you want to just let the guy walk and take a compensatory pick and draft a running back? I mean, the thing of it is, I think 20 years ago, the running back was a lot more important than it is nowadays. So I'd probably say if you're going to put the money elsewhere, you do it. But Barkley, I feel like it's going to make it tough. It's going to be a tough decision.
Barkley's going to make it a tough decision if he plays the way I think he's going to this year, if he stays healthy. I think Barkley stands a much better chance of coming back if Jones doesn't. If Jones comes back, it's going to be hard to bring Barkley back as well. So we'll see. I could definitely see the argument for bringing Barkley back, especially if you draft a rookie quarterback, because he's a guy that could help him. And I'm going to continue to say it. And I understand it for sure, the argument to not keep Saquon Barkley. Running back, short shelf life. I also understand the argument to keep him if he could remain healthy this year and played at MVP level. Because I don't like to just downgrade him like a running back. Like everybody says, running backs are replaceable, blah, 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 blah. He's a weapon. I don't want to call him he's a weapon. He's a guy that is a big, big play threat in a big play league. He has the most 40-yard the second most 40-yard carry since 2018 in the NFL, and I think he's only one behind the leader now, which is Derrick Henry, and he's missed more than half those games due to injury. He's a big play threat in a big play league, and he definitely is a legitimate weapon. He just so happens to play the running back position. It's kind of like Travis Kelce at the tight end spot. He is more than just a traditional tight end. He's a weapon. You have to game plan for as a defense. So he's more than just a traditional running back. That doesn't, I understand the argument not to keep him, though, due to the fact that running backs break down. I think the deal has to make sense for the Giants. They're not giving him a Zeke contract. You're not giving him 6 years. That'd be crazy. Not doing that, especially with the injury history that Barkley has. But do I see a scenario where it's possible if he plays at a very high level? Yeah, but it has to be of the 3 or 4 year variety, not the 6.
Agreed. Dashy, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Whee!
There you go.
Wee! Let's go. Coda Trout, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Do you guys think that if we had a different offensive coordinator other than Garrett, following the firing of Pat Shurmur, that DJ would have regressed as hard as he did? Yeah, because I think that a lot of it had to do with Joe Judge and just the conservative nature of everything Joe Judge did. Because even when Garrett left, you still saw Daniel Jones struggle. Now, granted, he was injured and there's a lot of things that were going on, but Daniel Jones was no better when Freddie Kitchens was calling the plays. So I think a lot of that had to do with Joe Judge, to be honest with you.
Yeah, let me read this again. Do you guys think that if we had a different OC other than Garrett following the firing of Pat Shurmur, that DJ would have? No, I don't. And like Baddog said, I think it has as much to do with Judge as it does Garrett. But that was the worst philosophy that you completely changed Daniel Jones as a quarterback. That's why I didn't want to fire Pat Shurmur the first year, and because it was a young quarterback that was showing progress, who was drafted for Shurmur's scheme. And I believe this in my heart. I really believe Daniel Jones would have had. I think we would have made the playoffs had Shurmur come back. And I don't like Shurmur. He's a bad head coach, but I think we would have made the playoffs. The year that Judge had his first year as the Giants head coach, where the Giants won 6 games, I think we would have won like 8, because I think Daniel Jones would have been a much better quarterback that year 2 in the Shurmur scheme, something that he was familiar with. You had the pandemic. He didn't have time to get accustomed to the scheme, and the offensive philosophy was just pathetic with Jason Garrett. But it's water under the bridge. The Giants admitted that they screwed up Jones and his upbringing. And you got to hope that with the new offensive minds they have here, Daniel Jones could become a better quarterback.
I agree. The Yankees just walked the guy, but I'm like, why didn't you just intentionally walk? You had a man on third with 1 out, bottom of the 9th, tie game. Why wouldn't you walk the guy and set up the double play? They ended up walking him anyway, but just put him on base. Maybe take a chance. Big Moo, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Think DJ finally has the stability he needs. Let's hope so. Need an offensive line, but I think Dable and Kafka are good for Daniel Jones. And Chris mentioned it. Barkley's good for Daniel Jones. Barkley's probably the best thing for Daniel Jones.
I think Barkley in the scheme those are huge. He hasn't had that. So let's see how he does this year. I mean, that's all you can do as a fan. Let's see how he does this year with a legit, like last year going in, we said, yeah, but Barkley wasn't Barkley. The scheme was a joke. He's got the real Barkley now. You saw that week 1. Let's see how Jones does. That's all you could do. I
agree. Dashy, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate you, brother. He says that was Edwin Musco. So how does Dashy know this stuff? Who ejected Aaron Boone? Boone is pissed. Boone was pissed. They're gonna have to see what the hell he got ejected for. It's in the middle of the inning when the pitcher was taking his warm-ups.
I'm gonna. By the way, I see Corey's comment, and I'm gonna kind of agree and disagree. He says coaches are overrated. Look at how Belichick is struggling now without Brady. I'm gonna agree and disagree. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, Corey. Look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff with McVay went to a Super Bowl, and he was a great statistical quarterback. He was an MVP candidate the year that they went to the Super Bowl. Go back and look at his numbers. That has a lot to do with Sean McVay. Alex Smith was a multi-time Pro Bowler with Andy Reid as his offensive coordinator. Matt Ryan, as good of a quarterback he's been throughout his career, was not near the level of quarterback he was when he had Shanahan as his offensive coordinator. He won an MVP award. Offensive coordinators and coaches make a huge difference, especially at the quarterback position and with offenses. Now, are there certain quarterbacks where it doesn't matter? Yeah, there are, of course. But no, coaching is very important. Very important.
I agree, because the coach's job is to find the scheme and the play calling and everything else that you get the most out of your players. You have to be able to get a scheme that, brings out the talent of your quarterback or whatever position it is. You want to, that was one thing Joe Judge said that I really got excited about was don't tell me what they can't do. Tell me what they can do. And because I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he understands. They want guys that want to learn. They want to enhance what they can do. They want to build around their skills and not so much what they can't do. But I think, yeah, obviously talent is very important. But listen, how important is coaching? Did the Giants win that game with Joe Judge as the coach last year? No. We don't even get back in that game, in my opinion. If it's the same coaching staff, we end up getting blown out against Tennessee, and they were able to make adjustments to come back. So I do think that it is. I do think that coaching is important, but yes, obviously a player's talent is very important too, because even Vince Lombardi wasn't going to win with last year's Giants.
And when you mesh them together, you get magic. Pat Mahomes is an incredible talent. Incredible. Arguably the most talented quarterback in the NFL. I think it's either him or Josh Allen in terms of just raw physical talent right now. But Pat Mahomes with Andy Reid, that's magic. It was the perfect pairing. You're talking about arguably the best offensive mind since I've been watching football as a head coach with one of the most talented, naturally gifted quarterbacks. It's magic. Great as Pat Mahomes is, he's not as great without Andy Reid. And that's my mindset. So coaching definitely matters. And there are certain players where it doesn't matter who the coach is. They're going to be great no matter what.
Right, like Justin Herbert.
Yeah, of course, if they're with an incredible coach, it's only going to make them even better. But coaching definitely matters.
Yeah. Philly D, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. He says, Baddog, can Hurts be a winner on a rookie deal? I am not a Hurts guy, as everybody knows. I think that your team is good enough if you utilize him correctly, which is him using his legs like he did against Detroit. You can win a lot of games. Super Bowl, no. I don't think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl, if that's what you're asking. I don't think you're winning a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. I just don't. I don't think he can pass well enough. This has just been my opinion since he was at Oklahoma. I just don't think he's a great passer. He makes some decent throws, but he makes a lot of really bad throws. I don't believe in his arm strength. I don't think he has enough accuracy to throw 15 and 20-yard outs. He underthrows a lot of deep routes. I mean, he'll have receivers streaking down the field, and he underthrows them. But he's very dangerous with his legs. He's a very instinctual player. He's a good kid. He's a hard worker. He's a good leader. I think you guys win the division. I'm not stepping off of that. I still think you win 11 or 12 games, but I don't think you're good enough to beat the Rams. I know they got crushed by Buffalo, but you're not good enough to beat Buffalo. You're not good enough to beat the Rams. I don't think you're good enough to beat the Chiefs. I don't think you're good enough to beat the Bucks. So I think you're good enough to win this division. Yeah, I think you have a good test against Minnesota. I think you'll see where you are there. But I don't think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl, if that's what you're asking. I think he's good enough to win the division. I don't think he's good enough to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I mean, here's what I'll say. I mean, I guess he's good enough to win the Super Bowl because Nick Foles wasn't anything special. But realistically speaking, is he a guy that I view as a guy that's going to give you a chance to win a Super Bowl year in and year out? No. I respect the Eagles team, though. I think they got a really, really good, well-built team. You got a strong secondary now. You got a great offensive line, great defensive line.
Got a bunch of good running backs.
Yeah, you
got a beast in A.J. Brown.
But I don't view Hurts as a guy personally that I'd want as my long-term answer at quarterback. I think you could get a better quarterback. But I think he's going to have a good year because you guys have a great support system for him. And I think you're going to win a lot of games. So,
yeah. With that said, guys, we went way over tonight. So thank you for hanging out with us for 2.5 hours. I don't usually go this long. But obviously, there's a lot to talk about. We are in season now. The Giants are in first place. We are above 5. How good does it feel, Giants fans? Seriously, how freaking good does it feel? How good does it feel, Chris, to do this show and talk about a victory and talk about how we feel like we can beat Carolina? How good does it feel to be able to say that type of stuff? From the last 5 years, we have never been above 500. We've done a show. Never.
It feels great, man. It feels great to be 1-0. Never had a winning record since we've been on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to Sunday. Can't wait. Come on by the channel if you want, hang out with us, and hopefully we enjoy a win together. Just in case I don't know if you read Cruz on Super Chat. I want to make sure you read it in case you did.
I'm going to, yeah.
I want to make sure you didn't forget it. So, but yeah, had an absolute blast, guys. Looking forward to Sunday. And if you want to come by tomorrow night, I'll be live with License Plate Guy. I mean, what's more fun than that? So we'll have a little hype upstream. I don't know what time it's going to be. I think he told me he wanted to be before 8, so it might be at like 7. Also going to be starting a new thing tomorrow. The weekly picks, I'm going to have a random subscriber on once a week. So that'll be live to it around noon, 1. So I'm going to do 2 live streams tomorrow. That'll be short, though. It'll be about 45, 50 minutes. But that's something more interactive I'm going to do on the channel. It'll just be fun to have you guys come on. And if you guys beat me, I'll give you a fitted hat. So come on by for that if you want as well. But Baddog, man, looking forward to Sunday. Hopefully we get out to a 2-0 start. And thank you so much for having me on, man. Looking forward to this.
Let's get these real quick. Somebody said the Yankee game is intense. Yes, it is. Come on, Holmes. Strike this bastard out. Game over. Brewers win. Cruz on, thank you for the super chat. Clay Holmes is not what he was at the beginning of the year. He says, I actually like DJ. I would love to see the guy get protected. Titans are in his face all game. I thought he held up well outside the interception. I agree. Like Chris said, he took a step forward. Cruz on. Let's hope he takes another step forward on Sunday. Because we've had these games with Daniel Jones where it's like, oh, he looks like he's going in the right direction. Then he goes right back in the other direction. So let's hope that he builds off of what happened Sunday and wins this week. He doesn't need to go 17 for 21. I don't care about his statistics. I care about what he did at the end of the game. Like that meant a lot more to me than his statistics. And he had good statistics. I think he was the highest rated quarterback and the 4th highest rated quarterback in the week. So
he was efficient. I think that's the best way to put it. He was efficient.
That's what we need him to be. We don't need him to be Pat Mahomes.
In that game, the way Barker was playing, that's what we needed. But yeah, Cruzon, I agree with you. I some people may think I hate DJ. I don't hate DJ. And I get it from both ends. Some people seem to think I love DJ. Some people may seem to think I hate DJ.
Yeah. Everybody always thinks I hate him.
I think he's a pretty good quarterback, but I need to see him become much more than he is type of guy. I think he's already capable of being. I think he will be if he's put in the right situation. If he does not work out with the New York Giants, I see no reason why he can't evolve into a guy like Ryan Tannehill if he's put in the right situation. I do think he's good enough to do that. And I do think he's going to be better this year. But the question is how much better, because it's a big commitment to give a quarterback a lot of money. So we need to see a lot more. But it was a step. And that, like Baddog said, it was a step. And hopefully it's a minor step into what will become bigger and bigger steps as he starts to learn this offense, as the offensive line gets more mature and gets used to playing with one another. Because to be fair, I don't think we're seeing the true offense yet. I don't think you're going to see the true offense probably till at least week 6 or week 7.
Yeah, I don't think it's opened up all the way yet either.
Once this offensive line starts to gel, and I think that's when you're really going to get to see what he could potentially be in this offense. So I'm looking forward to it.
Brian Ellis, my friend, thank you for the super chat. Thank you from Australia. He says Giants. Damn right. Let's go Giants. I just want to put this up because I always find you always got to take a troll and you always got to slap them around a little bit. And this guy right here, how can a Washington Redskin, commodes, whatever you guys are called these days, how can a fan from Washington say anything about Daniel Jones? Number one, you haven't had a good quarterback since Joe Theismann. Okay. Number two, Daniel Jones absolutely spanks the hell out of you guys on a regular basis. So I don't know what to say. Daniel Jones may be a backup quarterback in his career, but that's for us to decide. That's not for a Washington Commodes fan to decide. Because, like I said, Daniel Jones has had his best career games against you guys.
It's true.
So what are you talking about?
It's true.
Brian, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. He says, can the Giants go all the way?
This year, no.
I mean, anything's possible, but the likelihood of that happening, Brian, I think was 100-1 before the year started. 80-1. It's a very long shot. I would love it. That'd be the greatest thing ever. How much fun would it be to call a Super Bowl?
I just want to call it one playoff game.
Yeah.
Let alone a Super Bowl.
Imagine that. Imagine that stream.
So
you know what? Let's do that this year. Why not? You doing anything like that?
Here's what I'm going to say. I think I'm not going to say it, but if we could start 3-1, however we get there, whether it's winning 2 out of these next 3, I'd give us a 45% chance to make the playoffs.
Whatever 4-0.
55% chance, maybe 60, because we have that 4-game window where I think we could take advantage of some of those teams. So, but let's get there first. Let's win some of these games. We'll see.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I'm just glad that we're above 500. Thank you all for being here tonight. Really do appreciate it. One last time, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. It's free. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. That helps every time. It's free, easy to do. Most importantly, make sure you go into the description, subscribe to the Entertaining Talkin Sports. We do this show every week. We'll be on his channel for the game on Sunday. Come by, hang out with us. The chat's always lit. Like I said, we have a few thousand friends that we hang out with on Sunday, and hopefully we get to call another Giants W, and hopefully it's a little bit easier this time. Like Chris said, hopefully we're talking about cannolis and Knicks ice cream in the fourth quarter, and we're on our way to 2-0. So, Chris, thank you for coming on the channel. Always appreciate it, buddy. And,
Close it up.
All right.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you guys, man. We really appreciate it. For the Entertaining Talkin Sports, it is the Baddog Dizzle. We gone.